Chapter 233. In the room, Ning Fan smiled silently while watching the end of the nascent realm auction. As for Dong Su, he smiled bitterly and explained to Su Qiuling about his hidden identity. Su Qiuling would never have thought that the flower master whom she casually acknowledged was actually such a powerful person. What made her even more embarrassed was that her master, who was usually crazy, actually married her to Ning Fan with just a few words. Even though she was not unwilling, but how could a girl's marriage be decided so hastily? She sighed softly. However, when her gaze fell upon Ning Fan's calm smile, her heart trembled. Did I still underestimate this young Master Zhou? He could make my father befriend Uncle Yen. Now, he could even make one of the 7 venerated beings of the internal sea lower his head. Moreover, young Master Zhou even taught my master how to break through to the void refinement realm. I can't see through him. It's unbelievable. Su Qiuling blinked her eyelashes and looked at Ning Fan with her cheeks blushing. Ning Fan, who was calm and collected, was really charming. She liked such a calm man. Her father was a devil lord who sold human cauldrons. She had seen too many devils, but none of them were as cool as him. She had a short life and a cold personality. However, she couldn't forget this person and fell in love with him. It was as if she had been longing for him for hundreds of years and that person had finally arrived. Thus, she gave all her love to him without reservation, even if he couldn't save her. You won't see my old age anymore in your journey. Because I'm willing to walk with you in the sky and watch a beautiful scene of blooming flowers. The nascent realm auction was coming to an end. Some precious nascent soul realm magic treasures and pills were also being auctioned. Ning Fan bought all the pills that could increase his cultivation base. Even if he didn't use them, the women in his hometown might. Ordinary nascent soul realm cultivators naturally wouldn't dare to compete with him in the 3rd floor. He did not hide his identity. With the influence of Zhou Ming's name, it was already difficult for him to keep a low profile in the external endless sea. Many nascent soul realm cultivators immediately stopped bidding when they recognized Ning Fan's room. This was prestige. Ning Fan's gaze fell on the 2nd floor. Even though there was a forbidden formation that could block spirit sense, it naturally couldn't stop Ning Fan from probing. Su Yao was frowning slightly. The nascent soul realm Dao fruit that she had been waiting for so long had yet to be auctioned. There were supposed to be 4 Dao fruits in this auction, and they would be sold separately at the beginning, middle, end, and end of the auction. But as the auction neared its end, there were still no Dao fruits to be auctioned. Su Yao couldn't help but feel slightly anxious. Under his anxious gaze, the last auction item was finally unveiled. The last item is a Dao fruit of an early stage original level cultivator. Due to certain reasons, my sect can only auction this one Dao fruit. The starting price is 5 million celestial jade. 5 million. Su Yao couldn't wait any longer and called out a price. The voice was soft and pleasant to listen to, and those who knew her immediately recognized that the one who called out the price was the Biao sect master. Dao fruits could only be obtained by killing. Among the 10 sects, the Baiyao sect was the only sect that claimed to be on the righteous path. The disciples of the sect were required to abstain from killing. There were many restrictions on killing people, but as the Biao sect master, she actually came to the demonic sea to buy Dao fruits. This matter was somewhat ironic. Some people snickered, some mocked, and some even fantasized about Su Yao's figure. However, none of this could shake Su Yao's determination. She wanted to get the Dao fruit for her sister, Yin Suqiu. She wanted to help Yin Suqiu form her nascent soul. However, Su Yao slightly underestimated the influence of this Dao fruit. The influence of the 10 sects was not small, but the Baiyao Immortal Island was an exception. If one offended this sect, as long as they didn't go too far, the sect wouldn't hunt them down. As long as they had enough money, even if they disobeyed Su Yao and snatched the Dao fruit, the Baiyao Immortal Island wouldn't pursue them. 6 million. 2 million. 6 million. 7 million. A series of bidding sounds rang out one after another. When the price rose to 9 million, the bidding stopped. Because the bidder was actually the person from the 4th floor's south room. I bid 9 million. This voice was hoarse and evil. The moment it rang out, everyone below the peak realm shuddered. It was obviously an ordinary voice, but it seemed to have the power to collapse heaven's primordial chi. The moment the voice rang out, the heaven and earth's primordial chi shook and condensed into countless heavenly spirit threads, shattering the formation light in the room where Su Yao was at. A black monk who was as fat as a mountain sneered and walked out of the room. He looked at Su Yao who was sitting below and licked his lips. This person is the cauldron that little fellow Miu Yen prepared? TSK, not bad. He's the type I like. However, Miu Yen died because of you. You should die. The black monk's eyes flashed with evil light. A black Buddha shadow with monstrous evil intent appeared behind him. It was 6 meters tall. The Buddha shadow suddenly dispersed and turned into a black smoke that rolled towards Su Yao. However, only spirit-severing realm experts could see that it wasn't smoke. It was clearly a killing technique that was condensed by traces of black heavenly spirit force. In an instant, the female cultivators of the Bai Yao sect behind Su Yao had cold expressions. The old monsters on the scene all recognized the identity of the person who made the move. This person is a spirit-severing realm old monster. This person is the Black Buddha sect's vice-sect lord, Evil Light Monk. This black smoke is the evil smoke technique that Evil Light is most proficient in. Once you are engulfed by it, even a grand cultivator will lose all of his magic power. He can do anything he wants and will be torn apart by the black smoke in an instant. The old monsters who were usually arrogant were as small as ants in front of the spirit-severing realm old monsters. They didn't even dare to breathe loudly. A spirit-severing realm cultivator of the inner sea killed the sect lords of the 10 sects of the outer sea, but no one dared to stop him. Su Rushan and Yen Zhongzi were still drinking tea at the Blissful Summit. They didn't expect that a mere nascent realm auction would actually provoke a spirit-severing realm cultivator. That Evil Light Monk was so arrogant. After being warned by the two of them not to attack Zhou Ming, he vented his anger on the Bai Yao sect. The two of them couldn't solve the nearby fire. They wanted to help, but it was already too late. Meanwhile, the spirit-severing realm cultivators of the other 3 branches had their own thoughts. In the east room, a young man in a silver robe was gently waving his folding fan. His eyes were shining brightly. There was a silver lightning beast embroidered on his robe. This person was a grand cultivator, but his magic power had already reached 8,000 units. This person's chi was not much weaker than Evil Light's. The Zhou family, Zhou Qing. This person was the favored son of the Zhou family of the Internal Endless Sea. He was known as the Emperor of the Zhou family. He was the most talented fiend cultivator in the Internal Endless Sea and the strongest cultivator below the Soul Formation stage, in the Internal Endless Sea. Zhou Qi, a deity transformation cultivator, was there to protect him. It was clear that the Zhou clan thought highly of him. I heard that Zhou Ming offended the Black Buddha sect because of this woman. However, with Su Rushan's presence, Xie Guang didn't dare to kill Zhou Ming to vent his anger. Thus, he came up with this plan to force Zhou Ming to make a move so that he could kill Zhou Ming legitimately. Xie Guang is nothing to worry about. Although he is a divine transformation realm expert, he doesn't have any divine intent. Moreover, he became a god through trickery. However, Zhou Ming. He is not a member of my Zhou clan. However, his techniques are not bad. He is the strongest cultivator below the divine transformation realm in the external endless sea. I wonder how many moves he can take from me, and how much magic power I have to use. 3 moves. 1,000 armor. Zhou Qi didn't seem to like talking. Zhou Qi, you overestimate this person, Zhou Qing sneered, but the next moment, his gaze turned cold. He is Zhou Ming. In the north room, a big man with a long beard and a red face was wiping a huge sword. The huge sword was glowing with silver light. All of the big man's thoughts were focused on the huge sword. A trace of sword intent couldn't be dissolved. His eyes were like swords and his breath was sharp. A mere nascent realm auction in the outside world couldn't arouse his interest at all. Moreover, when Xie Guang made his move, he didn't even raise his eyebrows. However, when a heaven-shattering sound was heard, his expression changed drastically. He stood up abruptly and looked at the outside of the room in disbelief. This guy. Zhou Ming. What a powerful sword technique. There are no more than 10 people in the entire Sword Island who can withstand a single finger of his. Behind the west room, an old man in purple robe was hugging 2 women in his arms. He closed his eyes and said nothing. When Xie Guang made his move, he only raised his eyelids slightly and sneered. The Vice Sect Lord of the Black Buddha Sect. Compared to the Divine Transformation Realm cultivators of my Demon Sealing Sect, he's much weaker. He was disdainful of Xie Guang because he was the 3rd elder of the Demon Sealing Sect. His name was Zigu. However, after Xie Guang made his move, another person made his move, which made him shocked and furious. He could clearly sense that the purple demon chi he planted in the eagle crane's body was in that person's body. At such a close distance, he couldn't be wrong. Zhou Ming. You're courting death. Some kind of purple light appeared, and the 2 women beside him suddenly exploded and turned into thousands of purple gold goo insects. The 2 women weren't humans but goo insects. These insects were called Purple Devourer. Although they were small, a mature one could bite a gold core realm cultivator to death. 100 of them could devour a nascent soul realm cultivator, and 10,000 of them could devour a divine transformation realm cultivator. Daoist Zigu had 17,000 of these insects. Ordinary divine transformation realm cultivators wouldn't be willing to fight against them. However, just as killing intent flashed across Zigu's eyes, he was shocked. This Zhou Ming is only at the late nascent soul realm. Why is he so powerful? When Xie Guang made his move, Suyao instantly fell into despair. The black smoke drifted over. Its speed was too fast, so fast that she didn't have time to defend herself. However, even if she had the treasure, what could she do? She couldn't block it. Although the black smoke was fast, the figure of a young man was even faster. With a flash of gray light, he turned into green smoke and appeared in front of the black smoke. His eyes were cold. Do you think my cauldron is someone you can harm? Break. Ning Fan's 5 fingers glowed with a jade-like color. He made a grabbing motion with his hand and a trace of Devil Mountain intent swept across the area. At this moment, Ning Fan's body was filled with devil chi. The black smoke that was powerful enough to tear a peak nascent soul realm cultivator apart was crushed by his grab. Humph. You've made your move. Now, even Su Russian won't be able to say anything if I kill you. Die. Xie Guang's eyes revealed a hideous smile. Just as he was about to make his move, he was waiting for Ning Fan to save him so that he could kill him. However, Ning Fan's attack was even faster. At this moment, he raised his finger and pointed it twice. The first finger, mountain shattering. The second finger, heaven shattering. Countless mountains on the Pleasure Immortal Island began to crumble. The tyrannical finger force lifted the roof of the treasure tower of the heavenly abode, revealing the sky. It was daytime but the horizon was dark. A black sun hung in the sky for no reason. When Ning Fan's killing intent was triggered, the black sun was ignited. The sun fell, the clouds shattered and the sky collapsed. Xie Guang's expression changed greatly and his face twisted in fear. He was the weakest divine transformation realm cultivator. However, the attack in front of him was comparable to the strongest attack of an early divine transformation realm cultivator. Even Stone Warrior almost died under this finger. How could he, Xie Guang, be able to resist it? I must run. Freeze. Ning Fan pointed his finger for the 3rd time. This time, he froze his body. Dense gray lines entangled Xie Guang. With Ning Fan's current magic power, it was more than enough to freeze Xie Guang for half a breath. What magic technique is this? Xie Guang's expression changed greatly. What kind of magic technique could actually freeze a late nascent soul realm cultivator like Ning Fan? You're the weakest divine transformation realm cultivator while I'm the strongest nascent soul realm cultivator. You can die now. Collapse. The black light from his fingers shot out a ray of dark golden sword chi. Since it was his first time using this sword chi, it could not take form. However, it was obvious that he was much more familiar with it this time. The tip of the finger broke into countless black lines that were as thin as a hair. If one's eyes were sharp enough, they would be able to see that the tip of the black lines was an extremely sharp small sword. It was like an aurora that was being drawn into countless light threads. However, when the light threads approached Xie Guang, they closed up and wrapped him up. Xie Guang, who was the weakest divine transformation realm cultivator, could not even use his profound heavenly spiritual treasure. In desperation, he spat out a mouthful of profound heavenly broken black sand magic treasure in an attempt to disperse the black threads. However, when the black sand came into contact with the black threads, it shattered into pieces. At this moment, the vast sky of the Pleasure Immortal Island collapsed, revealing a dark void that made one's scalp numb. After the fingers shattered the profound heavenly broken treasure, it immediately tore Xie Guang's physical body into pieces like maggots attached to a bone. However, just as his physical body was about to collapse, a black shadow forcefully broke out of the black threads despite suffering severe injuries. While coughing out blood, it suddenly performed a hand seal and turned into black smoke. Then, it moved across the sky and was already tens of thousands of li away. That black shadow was the size of a fist and it looked like a nascent soul. Its appearance was exactly the same as Xie Guang's, but it was illusory. It was a primordial spirit. The speed of the primordial spirit's movement surprised Ning Fan. He wiped off the black blood at the corner of his mouth and sighed. I actually let this evil creature escape. A divine transformation realm cultivator is really not someone I can kill. It was so quiet that one could hear a pin drop. The sky in the outside world slowly recovered from the cracks. However, the broken parts of the heavenly abode could no longer be healed. Each of the old monsters of the external endless sea who were already afraid of Zhou Ming became even more fearful of him now. At this moment, each of the old monsters of the internal endless sea who were not afraid of Zhou Ming remembered his name. Especially the divine transformation realm cultivators on the 4th floor of the pavilion, all of them were greatly shocked. Let alone Xie Guang, even they would certainly suffer severe injuries from that finger attack. Zhou Qing clenched his fists tightly. Is this the Zhou Ming that I underestimated? How can I withstand that finger attack? This Zhou Ming is not the strongest cultivator below the divine transformation realm. How many early divine transformation realm cultivators can withstand that finger attack? Moreover, this person actually said that it's a pity. Could it be that destroying Xie Guang's physical body is not enough and he wants to kill his primordial spirit as well? I'm known as the Emperor of the Zhou clan. However, I'm nothing in front of this person. The primordial queen killed a divine transformation realm cultivator. Guanxiong could not help but recall the light of that sword. Turning the sword into a thread. There's no mistake. Those countless black threads were sword threads. I have roamed the internal endless sea and cultivated the sword for 3,000 years, but I have yet to comprehend the sword transformation technique. This kid actually comprehended it at the late nascent soul stage. Unfortunately, this kid isn't a member of my Sword Island. Otherwise, the successor of Sword Exalt would definitely be him. Daoist Purple Goo's eyes were filled with shock. The moment Ning Fan made his move, he recognized that Ning Fan was the one who killed the eagle crane. However, after witnessing Ning Fan's technique of destroying the evil light with a single finger, he reckoned that even if he has 17,000 purple devouring insects, he would still be severely injured if he gets hit by Ning Fan's finger. You killed an elder of my demon sealing hall. I can't just let this matter go. But this kid is not someone to be trifled with. If I fight him alone, I will definitely be severely injured. Although Ning Fan's eyes were filled with pity, he sent a message to the direction of his room. Senior Dong Su, I want this person's primordial spirit. Ha, that's easy, that's easy. He's just an early-stage primordial spirit realm cultivator of a small black Buddha sect. Even if he runs for 1,000,000 miles, this old man will still be able to capture him back. Ning Fan could destroy the evil light, but he could not kill its primordial spirit. But there was someone who could catch the evil light. Dong Su was a free fighter, so it would be a waste not to use it. Cut the grass and eliminate the roots. Evil light could not run away. However, no one would know that he was the one who killed the evil light. This is the first divine transformation realm cultivator that I've ever killed. Chapter 234. Xie Guang's attack struck fear into the hearts of the cultivators. Xie Guang's desperate escape caused the crowd of cultivators to shiver. That was the soul formation realm, a realm that countless nascent soul realm old freaks had been pursuing for their entire lives. Even if Xie Guang was the weakest soul formation realm cultivator, he was still not a match for nascent soul realm cultivator. With just a finger, Evil Ray had died. That finger had condensed the primordial chi into power, gathered the heavenly spirit into the sun, shattered the sun into a sword, and turned the sword into a thread. One finger and one sword, the sky collapsed and the sky shattered, and the spirit-severing realm died. Was this Zhou Ming's true strength? Even among the 13 soul formation cultivators in the outer endless sea, how many of them could withstand a finger attack? The old monsters swallowed their saliva as they looked at the indifferent young man in front of Su Yao. When ordinary old monsters entered the secular world to cultivate, they were all very cautious and pretended to be pigs to eat tigers. But Zhou Ming kept a high profile the entire time. If it was any other cultivator, even if they fought against Evil Light Monk, their first move would at most be a probe, and their trump cards would be hidden at the end. But Zhou Ming had used a killer move in the first round. It seemed reckless, but in fact, his way of life was far more brilliant than the old monsters who pretended to be pigs to eat tigers. If Zhang Xian did not possess sufficient strength, he would naturally have to hide his strength. However, with his strength, he could dominate the outer endless sea and dominate the inner endless sea. Why would he need to hide? If he had not used his killing move in the first round, would it have been so easy for Evil Light to recognize his strength and be on guard? Ning Fan's immortal veins were in excruciating pain. That finger attack had damaged him greatly. However, his gaze gradually became calm. His gaze swept across the east wing of the fourth floor, the north wing, and finally stopped at the west wing. From the 3 rooms, Zhou Qing, Zhou Qi, Guan Xiong, and Zigu walked out with complicated expressions. The aura force of 4 people and 3 deities pressed against Ning Fan in a probing manner. However, Ning Fan remained calm and indifferent while facing the overwhelming aura force. He was not afraid of aura force. At least, aura force below the void fragmentation realm was useless against him. My name is Zhou Ming. Killing people here might make you unhappy. If anyone is unhappy with my conduct, feel free to make a move. These words were obviously meant for the soul formation cultivator from Sanxiang. Guan Xiong was the first to retract his aura. Sighing, he slapped his bag of holding and took out a small silver sword. It was 3 inches long, but there were inscriptions on it. It was actually a sword-shaped command medallion. Sword cultivators run amok, killing with a single sword strike is a common occurrence. I have no complaints about fellow Daoist Zhou. Fellow Daoist Zhou's swordsmanship is superb, and this Guan admires it. If fellow Daoist has the chance, why don't you come to Sword Island for a visit? This is the sword token of my Sword Island. With this token, no one will be able to stop fellow Daoist from coming to Sword Island. Sword slave Guan Xiong was trying to befriend Ning Fans. They even gave him a token of Sword Island. The Sword Order shot forward with a trace of sword chi that was enough to kill ordinary peak nascent soul stage cultivators. However, when it arrived in front of Ning Fan, he flicked his finger at the small sword. Immediately, the small sword trembled and the sword chi collapsed, shattering the sword with a flick of his finger. This young man's body refinement realm is really strong. I'm afraid he has already reached the Jade Life realm. Guan Xiong sighed inwardly. That sword chi was obviously to test Ning Fan's strength. Senior Guan is too polite. This show will accept this sword token for the time being. If there's a chance, this show will definitely make a trip to Sword Island. Ning Fan kept the order and cupped his fists. Guan Xiong nodded slightly and returned to the North Chamber. He represented the Sword Island and the Sword Island had no hostility towards Ning Fan. This Guan Xiong has a heroic spirit. He wholeheartedly cultivates the sword. Since he wants to befriend me, it means 70% of his sincerity and 30% of his interest in my sword finger technique. In that case, if I have a divine transformation realm cultivation base, there's no harm in making a trip to Sword Island. Ning Fan's gaze fell upon Zhou Qing. He was the second person to retract his aura. There was half a silver lightning star on his glabella, but it had yet to completely condense. This person seemed to have the immemorial lightning vein, but it didn't seem like it. When their gazes met, Zhou Qing's eyes narrowed and he activated the lightning star on his glabella. The half-star flashed and his eyes were like lightning, staring at Ning Fan intently. He had long heard that Ning Fan seemed to have the lightning star ability. If it wasn't for that, Zhou Qing would never pay attention to the cultivators of the external endless sea with his arrogant personality. I am the son of the Zhou clan. I am the most talented person in the Zhou clan in the past 10,000 years. With my half-crippled bloodline, I almost condensed the immemorial lightning star. This person isn't a cultivator of the Zhou clan. It's impossible for him to condense a lightning star. Zhou Qing's eyes were like lightning, but Ning Fan's eyes were like the starry sky. When his eyes met Ning Fan's, a blood-red lightning flashed in Ning Fan's eyes. Immediately, Zhou Qing felt as if a blood-red lightning had exploded in his mind. The lightning in his eyes immediately crumbled and surrendered. Zhou Qing's expression changed drastically. He took 2 steps backwards. He was actually unable to force out the blood-red lightning in his sea of consciousness with his current cultivation base. Zhou Qi. Yes. The early spirit-severing realm old man in silver robes behind him took a step forward and supported Zhou Qing's back with his palm. Only then did he manage to stabilize himself. His finger flashed with lightning and destroyed the blood-red lightning in Zhou Qing's sea of consciousness. However, at this moment, be it Zhou Qi or Zhou Qing, both of their faces were filled with disbelief. They exchanged glances with each other. Both of their hearts were filled with raging waves. Although Ning Fan could kill Xie Guang, Zhou Qing was not afraid because he could also kill Xie Guang. Even though Ning Fan's finger was powerful, Zhou Qing did not panic. Even though this person was stronger than him, Zhou Qing still had his own pride. However, this blood-red lightning had completely destroyed Zhou Qing's pride as a heavenly son. He was already proud of himself for condensing half a lightning star. However, Ning Fan condensed a complete lightning star. There was no doubt about it. When their eyes met, the 2 types of lightning collided. His silver lightning was completely incomparable to this person's blood-red lightning. What kind of lightning is that? It's just like a heavenly tribulation. In the blink of an eye, Zhou Qing had lost. His face was filled with bitterness. However, he immediately put away his defeated expression and put on a calm smile again. He. Fellow Taoist Zhou, you must be joking. The Black Buddha sect is just a small sect. Xie Guang is not even worth mentioning. What does it have to do with my Zhou clan? Fellow Taoists means are brilliant. I, Zhou Qing, am ashamed of my inferiority. You are the #1 expert below the divine transformation realm in the internal endless sea. Fellow Taoist is also an outstanding figure above the divine transformation realm. This is the lightning sovereign token of my Zhou clan. If you enter the internal endless sea in the future, you can come to my Zhou clan with this token. Hiss, the #1 expert below the divine transformation realm in the internal endless sea actually admitted defeat to Zhou Ming. The cultivators of the external endless sea were not that surprised. However, the expressions of the great cultivators of the internal endless sea changed. The emperor of the Zhou clan, Zhou Qing, was a man with outstanding talent and an arrogant character. However, his means were even more powerful. He had defeated a total of 3 early Divine Transformation Realm experts below the Divine Transformation Realm. He could even be ranked in the top 100 on the Devil Appraisal ranking. Usually, he would not even put early Divine Transformation Realm experts in his eyes. However, he paid special attention to Zhou Ming. In that case, Zhou Ming's act of killing Ning Fan had gained a good impression from the Sword Island and the Zhou clan. Ning Fan received the Lightning Sovereign token that flew towards him. There was no need for him to test Ning Fan's strength. Everything that should be tested was made clear when they met each other's eyes. Ning Fan stared at the token. It was a totem of a silver-horned lightning beast. It looked simple and domineering. After keeping the token, he cupped his fists towards Zhou Qing. Zhou Qing nodded with a smile and returned to the room with Zhou Qi. This Zhou Qing is quite a character. Lightning was defeated by me. However, he immediately got rid of his feelings of defeat and reignited his fighting spirit. This person must have started from the bottom and climbed up the ranks with difficulty. After experiencing setbacks, he gained an unyielding heart. 10,000 years later, the void fragmentation realm of the Rain world might have this person's name. However, this person's friendship with me is only 10% of sincerity and 90% of his interest in my lightning star blood lightning technique. Unless you have the power to go against Zhou Zun, don't go to the Zhou clan recklessly. I'm afraid that someone might kill you and steal your lightning. In the end, Ning Fan's gaze fell upon Taoist Zigu. I seem to have some grudges with the demon sealing sect. May I know what fellow Taoist Zigu wants? Zigu's eyes flashed with a hint of gloominess and he laughed. Fellow Taoist must be joking. I already know about the matter regarding Yinghe. He's just a late nascent soul realm cultivator. He was courting his own death by hunting you down. Let's just pretend that nothing has happened. Consider it as our demon sealing sect's goodwill towards fellow Taoist. However, fellow Taoist must remember not to harm the people of our demon sealing sect in the future. Otherwise. Hee. Fellow Taoist should understand. As soon as Yinghe finished speaking, he took out a purple token and gave it to Ning Fan with a flick of his finger. This is the venerated demon token of our demon sealing sect. If fellow Taoist comes to our demon sealing sect with this token, you will definitely be treated with courtesy. I, Zigu, look forward to meeting fellow Taoist in the sect. Ning Fan received the token and examined it with his spirit sense. He immediately sneered. There was a gray demon seal hidden within the token. It was used to track someone. The cultivation base of the person who possessed this token was not any weaker than venerated giant or Dong Su. He was most likely a venerated demon of the demon sealing sect. The token was said to be a friendly gesture. However, as a matter of fact, once Ning Fan carries this token, his whereabouts would be tracked by Zigu and he would pursue him after that. It seems like Zigu is not as indifferent to the matter of Ning Fan killing Yinghe as he claimed. The purple demon seal planted by this person was forced into the All-Heaven relic by Ning Fan and he could not sense it. So, he gave me another token in the name of a friendly gesture to track me. Rumor has it that Zigu has 17,000 purple devouring insects. No one among the early spirit severing realm cultivators is willing to go against him. This person pretends to be friendly with me on the surface, but in reality, he has the intention to kill me. Perhaps he thinks that I have peeked into Yinghe's memories that were sealed by the purple light and know some secrets. That's why he has no choice but to kill me. In the past, I did not have the power to break the purple seal and I did not discover the secrets of the demon sealing sect. However, even if I explain it to Zigu, he will definitely not believe me and he will still kill me. The grudge between me and the demon sealing sect will never be resolved. Zigu did not show any sincerity when he gave me the token. He only had killing intent. Unless you are strong enough to annihilate the entire demon sealing sect, you must never step into the territory of the demon sealing sect. Ning Fan's expression remained unchanged, but he sneered in his heart. He kept the venerated demon token and no longer looked at Zigu or cupped his fists. Zigu's face twitched. His heart was filled with anger, but he did not show it on his face. He gave Ning Fan a deep look and returned to his room. Arrogant brat. When I summon my men, you will certainly die. Zigu sneered inwardly. Evil Guang, the spirit-severing realm cultivator of the Black Buddha sect, was dead. 3 of the 7 venerated beings of the internal sea were competing to befriend Ning Fan. When this scene fell into the eyes of countless old monsters, they were instantly filled with astonishment. He was able to kill Evil Guang before attaining the divine transformation realm. Moreover, he was able to befriend the 3 venerated beings of the internal sea. This Ning Fan is really powerful. Once he attains the divine transformation realm, wouldn't he be able to put up a fight against a mid-divine transformation realm cultivator? Besides, a few old monsters knew that the force behind Su Rushan was the Giant Devil Clan. If he befriended Ning Fan, it meant that the Giant Devil Clan was on good terms with him. In other words, this Ning Fan actually befriended 4 of the 7 venerated beings. However, if these people knew that one of the venerated beings of the internal sea, the Dong Su realm, was risking his life to befriend Ning Fan, how would they feel? Unfortunately, they would not know that Evil Guang seemed to have escaped, but in fact, he was captured before he could get far. The nascent realm auction that could not attract the attention of peak nascent soul realm cultivators had become soul-stirring because of the death of a divine transformation realm old monster. Evil Guang was already dead and the Dao fruit had become an item without an owner. On the auction stage, the late nascent soul realm auctioneer's face was filled with awkwardness. Who should I give this Dao fruit to? Who is the fellow Daoist who shouted 8 million just now? The auctioneer's gaze fell upon the nascent soul realm old monster who shouted 8 million just now. Immediately, that old monster felt as if he was sitting on a bed of needles and cursed inwardly. Motherfucker! Why is this auctioneer so blind? Why is he looking at me? This Dao fruit is obviously a hot potato. It's what the sect master of the Bai Yao sect, Su Yao, wants. Who is Su Yao? Great Devil Lord Zhou Ming just said that she's his cauldron. If Evil Guang shouted 9 million, he would die. If I shouted 8 million, he would die. Zhou Ming, he's Zhou Ming. Last time at the Penglai Immortal Islands auction, this guy dared to turn people upside down. This time, he even dared to kill soul formation cultivators. If I dared to snatch the Dao fruit from his woman, it would be strange if he didn't kill me. He's the old ancestor of the Lu clan in the external endless sea, a dignified late nascent soul realm cultivator. But who does he think he is in the eyes of Great Devil Lord Zhou? Before he could say anything, he immediately felt Ning Fan's cold gaze sweeping towards him. All of a sudden, old monster Lu's expression changed greatly and his heart trembled with fear. Not good. I've really been targeted by old Devil Lord Zhou. Fellow Daoist, the Dao fruit is 8 million. Please pay. The auctioneer smiled bitterly. He couldn't wait to sell the Dao fruit and leave as soon as possible. I'm sorry. I don't have enough money. I don't want the Dao fruit anymore. Who shouted 7 million just now? Go and find him. Old Monster Lu said impatiently. I see. Which fellow Daoist shouted 7 million just now? Please pay. What a coincidence. I don't have enough money either. Go and find the one who shouted 6 million. I wonder who shouted 6 million just now. Before the auctioneer could finish his words, a series of voices sounded. What bad luck. I lost my storage pouch. I don't have 6 million, I shouted 2 million but I don't have enough money, I shouted 6 million but I don't have enough money. Each of the old monsters looked at each other. None of them dared to ask for the Dao fruit. None of them were fools. They might offend the great devil Lord Shou for 20 units of magic power. If they lose their lives, they won't be able to cultivate anymore. Let's talk about the Dao fruit next time. Interesting. It seems like everyone didn't bring enough money. In that case, only Yao Er can buy this Dao fruit. Ning Fan smiled faintly. Su Yao's cheeks immediately turned red. She felt grateful and annoyed at the same time. Yao Er. When did I allow him to call me that? She was the sect master of one of the 10 sects, but she was publicly announced as a human cauldron by him. However, not only did she not look down on her, many evil women secretly envied her for obtaining old devil Zhou's protection. Ah! Sect Master Su, this Dao fruit is worth 5 million immortal jades. Do you have enough money? The auctioneer smiled bitterly. Of course it's enough. Su Yao's heart was in a mess. She answered absent-mindedly and landed on the ground. She paid for the fruit and returned to her room. Just like that, the nascent soul realm auction finally came to an end. The auctioneer who was under great pressure finally left. The next person to take over was Yen Zhongzi, who was invited by Su Rushan. Many of the items in the Grand Cultivator Realm auction were enough to attract spirit-severing realm cultivators to bid for them. It was dangerous without a spirit-severing realm cultivator. All the nascent soul realm cultivators who were below the Grand Cultivator Realm left one after another. Not long after, no one was seated on the second floor. Many Grand Cultivators who did not have the Pleasure Devil token had no choice but to leave. Su Yao had no choice but to leave. She came to the Pleasure Devil Sea for the Dao fruit. Now that she had the Dao fruit, what was the point of staying? Thank you. She bit her lips lightly. Could this be the 4th time Ning Fan saved her? Only verbal thanks, huh? Ning Fan teased. No, it's not. Su Yao blushed and signaled the other Bai Yao female cultivators to leave first. After they left, Su Yao seemed to have made an important decision. She stood on her tiptoes and kissed Ning Fan's cheek lightly like a dragonfly touching the water surface. If you come to Bai Yao's sect, Su Yao will not break my promise and let you pick me. Her face was burning hot. With her identity as a sect master, it was already very bold to say such words to a man. But in the end, she had to leave. She walked away step by step. Every step she took seemed to take her further away from Ning Fan, causing her to feel a little disappointed. However, before she could leave the room, Ning Fan grabbed her wrist. Wait. What's wrong? Isn't a kiss enough? Her wrist that was being held by Ning Fan felt a little numb, making her reluctant to let go of his hand. Take these 3 Dao fruits. This nascent formation pill and 10 million immortal jades. Help me bring them to Suqiu, 3 Dao fruits. 10 million immortal jades. Su Yao covered her mouth with her hands and was stunned. Your Bai Yao sect might have this nascent formation pill too. However, the pills concocted by 4th Revolution pill masters are not as good as mine. This pill is better. He did not explain his identity as a 5th Revolution pill master to Su Yao. There was no need. Goodbye. Ning Fan cupped his fists and smiled. Then, he returned to the room on the 3rd floor. Su Yao looked at his retreating figure with ripples in her heart. Then, she smiled faintly and left with light steps. Thank you. Thank you for treating little sister Suqiu so well. Thank you for saving me so many times. In the room, Dong Su had already returned with an extremely weak black primordial spirit in his hand. He looked at Ning Fan with a faint smile. This person's primordial spirit has been captured. You can do whatever you want with it. So, can this old man help you once? Senior, you must be joking. Capturing a mere spirit-severing realm broken god is just a small matter to you. How can it be counted as helping you? Ning Fan took Xie Guang's primordial spirit and his storage pouch and sealed them. Then, he shifted his gaze and looked at Su Qiuling. Killing Xie Guang and capturing a primordial spirit made Su Qiuling's eyes shine with excitement. However, at the same time, when she thought about how Ning Fan helped her to save her beauties, she felt a little sour in her heart. Young Master Zhou has a lot of beauties, however, when Ning Fan's gaze landed on her, her cheeks immediately turned red. What's wrong? Is there anything dirty on my face? No. It's just that I'm quite interested in this Grand Cultivator level auction. However, other than the spirit-severing realm cauldron, all the items that will be auctioned will be kept a secret. Therefore, I want to ask Miss Qiuling about the items that will be auctioned this time. Of course, what I'm most concerned about is that spirit-severing realm cauldron. I wonder if Miss Qiuling knows anything about it. Since young Master Zhou has asked, Qiuling will certainly tell you everything she knows. There are indeed many good items that will be auctioned in this auction. For example, Fifth Revolution pills, pill recipes, divine transformation realm cultivation methods, secret techniques, profound heavenly spiritual treasures. Of course, there are also some keys to the secret realms of the Endless Sea. However, I think these are not enough to attract young Master Zhou's interest. There are a total of 4 items that will be auctioned this time. One of them is a profound grade divine sense stone. With this stone, an early divine transformation realm old monster will have a certain chance of condensing his divine intent. The second item is a mortal void grade spiritual iron with the absorption technique. This spiritual iron is considered as one of the rare supreme grade spiritual iron of the mortal void grade. The third item is a complete Dao crystal. The fourth item is a spirit-severing realm cauldron. However, Qiuling really doesn't know anything about this woman's identity. Divine sense stone, spiritual iron, Dao crystal. Ning Fan muttered. All of these 3 items were extraordinary. Among them, the absorption technique, spiritual iron would be extraordinary if it can be used to enhance the spirit-shattering whip. However, what he was most concerned about was still the spirit-severing realm cauldron. Even Su Qiuling doesn't know about this woman's identity. You can't touch that woman. Old ancestor Dong Su said with a solemn expression. Oh. What does Senior Dong Su know? Please enlighten me. Ning Fan's eyes flickered. She's from the Divine Space Island. It's highly possible that she's the disciple of Venerated Moon. Divine Space Island? Ning Fan frowned while listening to Dong Su's explanation. The Divine Space Island was one of the 7 venerated forces in the internal sea. As for Venerated Moon, she was the leader of the 7 venerated forces. Her strength was above Venerated Giant and the others. She even had half a foot in the Void Refinement realm. The Divine Space Island was located in the Divine Space Sea of the internal sea. However, the power of the void in that area was chaotic. Even divine transformation realm cultivators would most likely die if they enter the Divine Space Sea recklessly. As for the Divine Space Island, it did not concern itself with worldly affairs. The disciples of the sect also rarely came into contact with the outside world. However, in recent days, countless female corpses were floating outside the Divine Space Sea. One of the corpses that was not completely dead was the early divine transformation realm cauldron. All the forces in the internal sea were guessing that something huge must have happened to the Divine Space Island. The craziest rumor was that Venerated Moon had failed to break through to the Void Refinement realm and fell into chi deviation. Then, she annihilated all the disciples of her sect. It was because some of the experts of the internal sea who had been planted with a mental seal by Venerated Moon realized that the mental seal had disappeared. This undoubtedly meant that Venerated Moon was most likely dead. If they could search the memories of that divine transformation realm female cultivator, they would be able to learn about the changes in the Divine Space Island. They might even be able to figure out the marketplace at the entrance of the Divine Space Sea and enter the Divine Space Island to obtain Venerated Moon's inheritance. Even though everyone had died, most of the resources of the sect were still around. On the surface, they were selling divine transformation realm cauldrons. However, they were secretly competing for the inheritance of the divine space island. However, this cauldron's memories were sealed and her mind was even more unclear. She seemed to have lost her mind. Ordinary people would not be able to search her soul at all. They would also not be able to get any information from her. At least, the giant devil clan's soul-searching secret technique did not manage to search her memories. The giant devil clan had given up on getting involved in this matter. Dong Su also could not search her soul successfully. The only ones who had not tried to search her soul were the Sword Island, the Zhou clan and the Demon Sealing sect. That Black Buddha sect had overestimated themselves. That was why they came to bid for the cauldron. No matter what happened on the divine space island, it would be filled with unpredictable dangers. Only the 7 great forces would dare to enter the island to investigate. At least, Dong Su did not suggest Ning Fan to get involved in this matter. As for the key to enter the island, it was that divine transformation realm cauldron. The so-called auction that will take place after that is just for the divine transformation realm experts of the 3 sects to search this woman's memories using the secret techniques of their clans. If they still fail to search her memories, then this woman will lose her value and become just a cauldron. However, if she loses her value, no one will be willing to bid for this cauldron just because it's just a cauldron. What Dong Su knew was even more detailed than Su Rushan and the others. After Ning Fan listened to him, he remained silent. In that case, if the divine transformation realm experts of the 3 sects fail to search her soul, he would be able to bid for this cauldron. With the might of the evil slaying light, the divine transformation realm experts of the 3 sects would not compete with him. As for him, he had the mind-reading technique. Would he be able to find out something from this cauldron? The auction begins now. The first auction item is a 40,000 years old spiritual herb, the 10,000 sword separating grass. Once this grass is refined, it can help to increase one's cultivation base in the Tao of Sword. The starting price is 3 million immortal jade. Ning Fan's eyes flashed. The first auction item was a good item that could stabilize the cultivation base of the second finger of the sword finger. Chapter 235. 3, 5 million, 4 million. 5 million, the grass of 10,000 sword separation was only useful for sword cultivators. Although there were not many sword cultivators, there were 17 in the outer endless sea and 74 in the inner endless sea. Among them, there were a few sword cultivators who valued the grass of 10,000 sword separation. But when Ning Fan called out the price of 5 million, the entire crowd was stunned into silence. The lingering power was still there. Ning Fan's floated down and paid for the grass. Yan Zhongzi's face showed a bitter smile. If it was in the past, it would not be difficult for it to sell for 7 million immortal jades. However, after Ning Fan's bid, the matter was settled and Ning Fan was the one who obtained the item. The Sword Island's divine transformation stage Guanxiong was also slightly tempted by the grass. However, he had the intention of befriending Ning Fan's, so he would not offend Ning Fan's for a mere spiritual grass. In the end, the flower fell into Ning Fan's pocket. The items that were auctioned after that were mostly ordinary 10,000 years old spiritual herbs. Other than the items that he needed, Ning Fan did not bid for anything else. However, whenever there was a 5th revolution pill recipe, Ning Fan would bid for it. All the immortal jades in the auction had to be handed over to the giant devil clan. Therefore, Su Rushan could not give Ning Fan any preferential treatment. In the end, Ning Fan had spent nearly 200 million immortal jades. Even Evil Light's money had been spent. There was less than 50 million immortal jades left in his storage pouch. Therefore, when it came to the auction of the arcane heavenly spiritual treasure and the incomplete treasure, he wasn't too concerned. This allowed many great cultivators to secretly heave a sigh of relief. They did not know that Ning Fan was a 5th revolution pill refinement master. It was already heaven-defying for him to possess the combat strength of a divine transformation realm cultivator at the age of 340 years old. How could it be possible for him to have a 5th-grade pill refinement master? Even Yan Zhongzi was secretly shocked by Ning Fan's wealth. Even soul formation cultivators in the boundless sea would be considered wealthy if they had tens of millions of celestial jades. After all, on the path of cultivation, elixirs and dharma treasures were too costly. Setting up arrays and refining artifacts also consumed a lot of celestial jades. In the 800 cultivation countries, ordinary spirit-severing cultivators were even poorer. Many great cultivators desired an incomplete profound heavenly treasure, and they were willing to sell their entire fortune to bid for one. Naturally, they were happy to see Ning Fan not participating in the auction of magical treasures. Unfortunately, even Guan Xiong and the others would occasionally be tempted by a magic treasure of this grade. Heavenly Violet Rope, Profound Heaven Incomplete Treasure, starting price, 10 million immortal jades. Ancient Scarlet Cloud Sword, Profound Heaven Incomplete Treasure, starting price, 15 million immortal jades. Sunset Pagoda, 10 million soul banner. Countless magical treasures were being fought over, but Ning Fan remained unmoved. He had 3 profound heaven incomplete treasures, which was enough. After Dharma treasures came spiritual equipment and spiritual iron. Pleasure Devil Sea was rich in spirit ores and spirit iron was extraordinary. There were several pieces of profound earth spiritual equipment and transcendent spiritual iron being auctioned. When the first item of the auction, the Mortal Void grade spiritual iron, absorption technique, was sold, even Zhou Qing's heart was moved. The Zhou clan of the Internal Sea was an expert in attacking the nascent soul. He also had a magic treasure that was similar to Ning Fan's spirit-shattering lightning whip, even though its destructive power was not as domineering as Ning Fan's. If this item was attached to the treasure, Zhou Qing's strength would undoubtedly increase. Absorption, Spirit Iron, a rare top-grade spirit iron among Mortal Void spirit iron. If it is attached to a magical treasure, it can injure the enemy when attacking. Absorption Spirit Iron. During a fight, it can secretly absorb the magic power of the enemy's cultivation. Starting price, 20 million, 21 million. Ning Fan bid. Zhou Qing's eyelids furrowed for a moment before relaxing. Young master, do you want to make a bid? Zhou Qi asked. Give him some face. Zhou Qing could not tell if he was happy or angry. Mortal Void Spirit Iron was something that even Divine Transformation Realm cultivators would fight for. Naturally, its price would be exorbitant. However, with Zhou Qing's status in the Zhou clan, he still had the chance to get his hands on it. There was no need for him to become enemies with Ning Fan because of this. After the auction of the spiritual equipment, it was time for the pills. The 4th and 5th revolution pills naturally attracted the bidding of cultivators. Ning Fan did not have much money. Other than the heavenly primordial pill and the profound primordial pill, he did not bid for anything else. At the end of the pill auction, the second item, the Shini stone, was about to be auctioned. Yan Zhongzi held a jade box in his hand, within which was a round, blood-red stone with patterns on it. As soon as it appeared, it immediately attracted the attention of all the great cultivators. The divine will stone was divided into 4 grades, heaven, earth, profound, and yellow. A nascent soul realm divine envoy of the Rain Palace would be bestowed with a yellow grade divine will stone. This profound grade divine will stone could only be obtained by a divine transformation realm revered elder of the Rain Palace. The starting price was 30 million. However, great cultivators hadn't even broken through to the soul formation stage, so they naturally wouldn't spend a huge amount of money to buy this stone. Only a colossal force like the Rain Palace would be willing to let a nascent soul realm divine envoy consume the divine will stone. The 3 divine transformation realm experts on the 4th floor were also old divine transformation realm experts. Thus, they didn't need this stone. In the end, this stone was bid by Zhou Qing. Ning Fan did not compete for it. Old man Dong Su already had a few pieces of profound grade divine will stone, even though it didn't belong to Ning Fan before he saved Su Qiuling's life. After the divine will stone, some more pills were auctioned. Then, the third item, the Tao crystal, was about to be auctioned. It was a green crystal with lotus patterns on it. The spiritual power contained in this Tao crystal was almost the sum of 5 million immortal jades. This is a Tao crystal. This item is needed by a void fragmentation realm old monster to become an immortal. It's the item used to set up an immortal void grand formation. It's also the currency of the Four Heavens immortal world. The starting price is 5 million immortal jades. This item seemed to have a great origin. However, in reality, it was only useful to void fragmentation realm old monsters and immortal void grand formations. It wasn't that attractive to great cultivators. The currency of the immortal world, huh? Ning Fan shook his head. He did not need this item. If he had the chance to ascend to the Four Heavens, he would have the means to kill others and seize their treasures to gather enough Tao crystals. A piece of Tao crystal was rare in the Rain world. However, to a true immortal in the Four Heavens, it was just equivalent to a piece of immortal jade. In the end, it was won by Daoist Zigu for 9 million immortal jades. Ning Fan, on the other hand, smiled inwardly. If I kill Zigu one day, I wonder if this piece of Tao crystal will return to my pocket. The nascent soul realm cauldrons that were auctioned this time were already in Ning Fan's pocket. What replaced them were demon pets, spiritual insects and spiritual talismans. Fake wild beast realm demon pets and spirit severing realm spiritual talismans could occasionally make Ning Fan's eyes light up. However, they were not very useful. After saving Su Qiuling, he would take over the 17 spirit severing realm mechanical puppets from Dong Su. Demon pets still needed to be raised. Would they be more useful than the mechanical puppets? He was waiting for the last item in the finale. Spirit severing realm cauldron. The auction lasted for 3 days. 3 days later, it finally came to an end. When a little girl in a white gown walked onto the auction stage with heavy shackles on her feet and hands, under the protection of 3 nascent soul stage cultivators, the whole place fell silent. At this moment, Zhou Qing, Guan Xiong and Zigu's eyes lit up at the same time. The girl was only 8 or 9 years old. She was dressed like a servant. Her lips were red and her teeth were white. Her face was clear and charming, but her eyes were empty. It was hard to believe that this girl was a spirit-severing realm old monster with her childlike appearance. However, it was not surprising. Many old monsters cultivated the virgin technique. Their appearance would always remain as a child until they die. It was not a rare thing. Yan Zhongzi's eyes showed a rare seriousness. He was wary of the spirit-severing realm cultivators from the 3 sections. In the dark, Su Russian's palms were sweating. Zhou Qing, Guan Xiong and Zigu landed on the auction stage one after another. They tried to probe into the girl's sea of consciousness with their spirit sense. However, their attempts were futile. Yan Zhongzi cleared his throat and released his aura, shocking the entire place. This spirit-severing realm cauldron is the last item of this auction. Those who are not interested in this item can leave first. Of course, everyone would get a drop of Mother Earth nether milk. However, that would be after the trip to the secret realm. Before that, the mission of the great cultivators would come to an end. They must clear the place. Once the spirit-severing realm cultivators from the 3 sects find out some shocking news from the girl's sea of consciousness, it would probably cause a large-scale change in the internal sea. Even though the divine space island was low-key, it still had countless forces in the internal sea. If they could find out about the death of venerated moon from the girl's sea of consciousness, those forces would be divided among themselves. If they could find out the method to enter the divine space island from the girl's sea of consciousness, the inheritance of the divine space island would cause a frenzied battle in the internal sea. Su Qiuling stood up slowly. She knew that Ning Fan needed a cauldron for his cultivation. However, after her master told Ning Fan that this girl was involved, Ning Fan should not compete for this cauldron anymore. However, what surprised Su Qiuling was that Ning Fan's eyes were deep in thought. He did not leave. Young Master Zhou, it's better for us to leave first. Don't get involved in unnecessary trouble. Su Qiuling advised. It's all right. I want to have a look. Ning Fan leaped and landed on the auction stage. As soon as he landed, Zigu frowned while Zhou Qing was surprised. Guan Xiong was also in a dilemma. However, Ning Fan immediately cupped his fists at Guan Zhou and Zhou Qing. Everyone, please continue. I have no interest in the inheritance of the Divine Space Island. However, if I can't search this girl's soul, she will be useless. I want to buy this girl as my cauldron at that time. Oh. Fellow Taoist is really well informed. This matter is only known by the major forces in the internal sea. We only told you about it at the last minute. Even Su Russian might not know about it, but you know about it. Guan Xiong's eyes flashed and he looked at Ning Fan highly again. When they heard that Ning Fan did not have the intention to search the girl's memories but just wanted her cauldron, Guan Xiong and Zhou Qing's strange expression disappeared and they nodded to show their agreement. Only Zigu's eyes turned cold. Originally, he planned to take this girl as his cauldron if he could not search her memories. However, he did not expect Ning Fan to interfere. However, when he thought of the destructive power of Ning Fan's finger, he did not dare to compete with Ning Fan for the cauldron alone. Forget it. Even though this girl is a divine transformation realm expert, she is still a little girl after all. Her primordial essence is not ripe yet and the effect of plucking her won't be good. So what if I let this young man have her? Besides, plucking a divine transformation realm cauldron requires time and thorough preparation. This young man will enter the secret realm of the broken world in a few days and we can't bring divine transformation realm cultivators with us. Hence, we won't be able to pluck her. After entering the secret realm, this young man will definitely leave the island. When the time comes, I will also call for help from my sect. It won't be difficult to eliminate this person and seize his cauldron and treasures. Taoist Zigu pondered for a moment and revealed an indifferent smile. He nodded, indicating that he would give this girl to Ning Fan as his cauldron if the search fails. The crowd dispersed. Su Russian appeared from the dark and guarded the cauldron together with Yan Zhongzi and Ning Fan. As for the other 4 people from the 3 sects, after some discussion, they decided that Guan Xiong would be the first, Zhou Qing would be the second and Zigu would be the third. The soul-searching secret technique that Guan Xiong used was similar to the sword sense technique. However, it was not a condensed sword sense. Instead, it was formed from sword qi. The soul-searching technique of the Zhou clan was called the White Lightning Memory Extinguishing Technique. It used lightning as a form of sense to search one's soul. As for Taoist Zigu, he basically used his purple worms as a form of sense. The 3 of them tried to use their spirit sense to enter the girl's head. These 3 traces of spirit sense could probably search the sea of consciousness of a late divine transformation realm cultivator. Ning Fan was speechless. As expected of the supreme force of the devil Tao in the internal sea. Their soul-searching memory extinguishing technique was indeed extraordinary. It was countless times stronger than his ordinary soul-searching technique. Even though Guan Xiong's pseudo-sword sense was extraordinary, it was obviously much weaker than the other 2's soul-searching techniques. Zigu's purple worms technique was stronger than Guan Xiong's but weaker than Zhou Qing's. However, the Tao of controlling worms was not something that could be learned in a short period of time. Ning Fan did not want to learn it. As for Zhou Qing's white lightning memory extinguishing technique, it was the strongest. It seemed to be lightning power. However, there seemed to be a trace of demonic power integrated into it. The fusion of lightning power and demonic power, is it related to the lightning beast? It's a fusion of magic technique and demonic technique. The person who created this soul-searching technique must have an astonishing innate talent. Ning Fan's eyes were filled with excitement. With his lightning star blood lightning, if he could obtain this technique, he would no longer need to be afraid of being sealed when he searches the memories in her sea of consciousness. Unfortunately, even though the three of them had extraordinary soul-searching techniques, they failed one after another. This was not strange at all. Even Dong Su had said that he had secretly searched the girl's soul. However, even he failed. What else could ordinary people do? Guan Xiong sighed and shook his head. Zigu's face turned gloomy. As for Zhou Qing, he let out a hearty laugh. He did not seem to be bothered by the failure of the soul-searching technique at all. Not being able to search this girl's soul further proves that the drastic change on the Divine Space Island is rather terrifying. Not being able to search her soul is not necessarily a bad thing. If we don't enter the Divine Space Island, we might be able to avoid this calamity. As for fellow Taoist Zhou Ming, Zhou Qing's gaze shifted to Ning Fan and he smiled faintly. Fellow Taoist Zhou Ming, you seem to be quite interested in this white lightning memory extinguishing technique. If it's in the past, I would certainly offer this technique to you with both hands. However, my technique isn't complete. Moreover, this technique is related to the secret of my clan. Forgive me for not daring to offer this technique to you. However, if fellow Taoist is willing to come to my Zhou clan, perhaps the old ancestor of my Zhou clan will take a liking to you and teach you this technique. Hee. Fellow Taoist, you must be joking. No matter how arrogant I am, I won't covet the secret technique of your Zhou clan. Ning Fan chuckled. However, a strange feeling rose in his heart. This Zhou Qing no longer seemed to be hostile towards me. However, at the same time, he seemed to be trying his best to invite me to join the Zhou clan of the Eternal Endless Sea. Even though this technique was profound, Ning Fan would not recklessly enter the territory of the Zhou clan just for a small soul-searching technique. He did not want to take the risk before his strength was complete. Who knew if the Zhou clan really invited him out of goodwill? Ning Fan could see through the goodwill of the giant devil clan and old man Dong Su, but he could not see through the Zhou clan. Sigh. In that case, I have failed the task assigned by revered sword. Congratulations to fellow Taoist Zhou for obtaining this woman as a cauldron. If you have the chance, you must come to Sword Island. Farewell. Guan Xiong cupped his fists and disappeared in a flash of sword light. With a leap, he was already tens of thousands of miles away. This technique was not a teleportation technique, but a technique unique to sword cultivators known as the sword teleportation technique. With this technique, a sword cultivator's speed would be unparalleled among his peers. Zhou Qing nodded slightly at Ning Fan. When he turned around, he transmitted his voice to the old man behind him. This person's vigilance is quite high. Forget it. There are still quite a number of years before the opening of the Thunder Emperor's tomb. In order to obtain a spot to enter the tomb other than the Seven Supremes, this person will eventually come to our Zhou clan. Zhou Qi, let's go. Yes. The old man responded and waved his hand, turning into a cloud of silver smoke that swept up the young master and left. The soul formation teleportation was different from teleportation. It could easily take countless people with it. In the end, Zigu was the only one left. His gaze swept across the body of the little girl with a covetous gaze. Eventually, he shifted his gaze away and cupped his fists at Ning Fan with a fake smile. Then, he turned into a cloud of purple smoke and left. His departure was to return to the Eternal Endless Sea to look for helpers to kill Ning Fan. After everyone had left, Su Rushan and Yan Zhongzi heaved a sigh of relief. Both of their gazes fell upon Ning Fan. Their eyes were filled with respect and fear. The two of them forcefully withstood that finger attack which could exterminate the evil light. They would either die or be injured. Fellow Taoist Zhou, you've really concealed your strength well. I'm ashamed of my inferiority. Yan Zhongzi naturally thought that Ning Fan was still hiding his strength when he took on his 5 palm strikes in order to break through to the Jade Life realm. If Ning Fan had used this technique on that day, Yan Zhongzi's life would certainly be in danger. Yan Zhongzi thought to himself. No wonder Su Rushan praised this person highly. It's dangerous to attain the spirit-severing realm within 10 zhang. It turns out that this is the case, his thoughts had gone astray. Su Rushan, on the other hand, looked at Ning Fan as if he could not see through him. The spirit-severing realm cauldron came from the Divine Space Island. Su Rushan really did not know about this, but Ning Fan did. He felt that he could not see through Ning Fan anymore. This person is the person that venerated giant is waiting for. Su Rushan took a deep breath. He had already contributed a lot to the successful conclusion of the auction and the successful search for Ning Fan for venerated giant. His daughter seemed to have been staying by Ning Fan's side for a few days. Their relationship seemed to be quite close. Let her do as she pleases about Qiuling. Besides, this Zhou Ming is indeed a good choice. Su Rushan was thinking about his daughter's marriage. Ning Fan's eyes stared at the hollow eyes of the little girl without saying a word. Her chi was indeed at the early divine transformation realm. However, it seemed a little strange. I wonder how much this girl will cost. Ning Fan cupped his fists. He wanted to buy this girl. Hee, fellow Taoist must be joking. I can't search this woman's soul because she's just a soul-transforming spirit cauldron. Plucking a soul-transforming spirit cauldron only amounts to a few hundred units of magical power. I'm even willing to give you 200 drops of Mother Earth nether milk. Why would I care about this cauldron? Fellow Taoist can just take this cauldron. I believe revered giant won't have any objections. This old man has already expressed his sincerity. As for the matter regarding the demon cores, I'll have to trouble fellow Taoist. With fellow Taoist's current strength, let alone 150, as long as you have enough time, it's not impossible for you to kill all the desolate beasts in the secret realms. Fellow Taoist Su must be joking. In that case, it would be impolite of me to refuse this cauldron. Ning Fan shook his cauldron ring and kept the girl away. With his current status, it was not strange for him to use a grotto heaven treasure in public. Su Rushan was indeed joking. He said that he had enough time, at least a few years, at most a few decades. He didn't think that Ning Fan could eliminate all the beasts in the secret realm in just 5 months. However, it shouldn't be difficult for him to kill 150 beasts if he risked his life. Unfortunately, this joke soon came true. There were still 8 days before the opening of the mystic realm. When they returned to the profound Jade Palace, it was still Yulong who received the visiting cultivators and received their generous gifts. As for Ning Fan, he brought the female corpse who followed him around and entered the Yuanya world. He shook his cauldron ring and summoned the divine transformation realm young girl. It wasn't easy to pluck a divine transformation realm cauldron. It required the assistance of pills in order to achieve the best effect. At least, he didn't have that pill at the moment. Moreover, with his nascent soul realm cultivation base, he would need at least half a month to refine the magic power of a divine transformation realm female. The reason why he summoned the young girl this time was not to pluck her. Instead, Ning Fan wanted to pry into her memories. He was not really uninterested in the Divine Space Island. He did not lie. He was not interested in the inheritance of the Divine Space Island at all. However, he was extremely interested in the female cultivators of the Divine Space Island. Not to mention the venerated moon, he was even interested in the disciples of the venerated moon's 7 goddesses. First of all, I'll try to search this girl's soul. If I can't, I'll try to use the mind-reading technique to pry into her mind. Who knows, I might be able to see the secrets that even the 7 venerated beings of the internal sea can't. Chapter 236. Ning Fan's mind sank into the little girl's memories. It was still the weakest soul-searching technique. He had to immerse his mind into it. Once he fails, he would suffer a backlash. he did not immediately use the mind-reading technique. He tried to search her soul first. The little girl's sea of consciousness was like a pitch-black void. In this void, all the memories were pitch black and could not be seen. Ning Fan could not see the way he came from and he could not choose the path ahead. Walking in the void, his mind felt like it was going to melt into the darkness. What a strange memory seal. It was actually sealed with the power of the void. No wonder old ancestor Dong Su could not search her soul. Other than void refinement realm old monsters, no one else could search the memory sealed with the power of the void. Ning Fan did not attempt it. Instead, he explored the deep void. He knew that the girl's sea of consciousness and memories were hidden under the void. It was too dangerous for his mind to enter the void without the help of the Eastern Ocean Bell. He turned around and wanted to leave. However, before his mind left, he was slightly startled. He raised his head as if he had sensed something. This light is... 3 fiend god stars appeared in his eyes and glabella. At this moment, his eyes slightly pierced through the darkness of the void and saw a trace of moonlight. It was just a trace of moonlight, but it gave Ning Fan a great sense of danger. It was even stronger than old ancestor Dong Su. Without the fiend god stars, one would definitely not be able to see this moonlight. Ning Fan peeked at the moon with the stars. When he peeked at the moonlight, his heart became more and more uneasy. When the moonlight was peeked at, it was like a key that was opened and slowly dispersed. At this moment, the darkness in the little girl's sea of consciousness disappeared. A wolf crescent moon shone in the sky. The little girl began to wake up on her own. Not good. Ning Fan's eyes turned solemn. The moonlight was attacking him at an unbelievable speed. If the moonlight touched him, his mind would certainly be destroyed. At the same time, the little girl's voice resounded in his sea of consciousness, pressing down on his mind. It was young and immature. Who are you? A mere late nascent soul realm cultivator dares to search my memory? You're courting death. Before he could retract his mind, the trace of his mind was almost destroyed by the voice. With only a trace of his consciousness escaping, Ning Fan's palm quickly moved away from the little girl's forehead and spurted out a mouthful of blood. His eyes focused and without any hesitation, he used the plucking finger on the little girl's shoulder and chest. There was no hesitation or mercy in this finger strike. In fact, he had even activated the Jade Life Physique art. However, when the force of the finger landed on the chest of the little girl, it felt as if it was hitting a piece of iron. The physical body of this little girl was already at the 2nd level of the Jade Life realm. Not only could the force of the plucking finger not penetrate into her body, when the finger came into contact with her shoulder, the bones in Ning Fan's finger felt like it was going to crack. A strong rebounding force pushed him back 1,000 zhang. Ning Fan's expression changed. The strength of this little girl's physical body is unimaginable. At this moment, the little girl's eyes gradually became clear. The hollowness turned into coldness and arrogance. An aura that resembled the awakening of a giant dragon flowed out of the little girl's body. You accidentally touched the moon consciousness and awakened Grandma. Although you did a good deed, you can die now. The little girl sneered. It was obviously Ning Fan who awakened her sea of consciousness by accident. However, she still wanted to kill Ning Fan and repay his kindness with evil. She took a step forward with her delicate little feet and instantly turned into moon-white smoke. In a flash, she crossed the distance of 1,000 zhang and appeared in front of Ning Fan. She bent her finger and flicked it. The fusion of the moon power of this finger was definitely not weaker than Ning Fan's unfinished 2nd finger of the sword finger. The little girl was confident that she could kill Ning Fan by flicking her finger. However, a beautiful figure in white robes appeared in front of Ning Fan lightly and threw a punch at him. Don't allow me to hurt, light, her eyes flashed with dark green ferocious light. The little girl whose body refinement realm was above Ning Fan was sent flying by the punch of the female corpse. She coughed out blood in disbelief. Corpse devil. Her strength is comparable to a mid-divine transformation realm devil. She tapped the ground with her delicate feet. With a tremendous force, she created cracks in the void in the sky. Her arrogance that had just been awakened gradually faded away. What replaced it was a hint of fear and solemnity. She had suffered a backlash from her second primordial spirit and was severely injured after seizing her body. Why would she appear in this place? Speaking of which, where is this place? That late nascent soul realm cultivator actually has a mid-divine transformation realm corpse devil to protect her. Which family does she come from? The little girl's delicate eyes coldly swept across the Yuanya world. Immediately, her small face was filled with shock. This is a world treasure. Looking at the magical treasures and stars above her head and the vague peak divine transformation realm grand formation in the surrounding mountains and rivers, she stared at Ning Fan with a gloomy expression. You're the one who captured me and brought me into this world. This girl seemed to have no memory of her identity as a human cauldron and her wandering in the external endless sea. Ning Fan did not answer her. Instead, he activated the yin-yang locket. He wanted to see who exactly this girl was. Her cultivation realm was only at the early divine transformation realm. Her body refinement realm was only at the second level of jade life. However, if Ning Fan was not mistaken, the moonlight in her sea of consciousness was in the form of moonlight. Moon consciousness. Even a true immortal might not be able to grasp a special sea of consciousness. It had nothing to do with one's cultivation realm. It all depended on one's luck and aptitude. Since this girl could grasp it, her identity in the divine space island must not be an ordinary disciple. Who are you? Ning Fan did not answer her question but asked her a question instead. Humph. You have yet to answer my question. This small kiliacosm is under your control, isn't it? Quickly let me go and I will spare your life. The little girl murmured in her heart, I'm not going to tell you. I'm the lord of the divine space island, Yu Lingkong. Ning Fan's eyes turned cold. This answer was out of his expectation. Yu Lingkong. Yu Lingkong. This girl calls herself Yu Lingkong. She is not a divine transformation realm female disciple of the divine space island. She is venerated moon of the divine space island. The 7 strongest experts of the internal sea. An expert who has half a step into the void refinement realm. The first divine transformation realm cauldron that I obtained. She is the strongest expert of the internal sea. So you are Yu Lingkong. However, from today onwards, you are no longer the lord of the divine space island but my human cauldron. How did you know my identity? The little girl was, of course, shocked. She was possessed by her second primordial spirit. She was supposed to die. However, the cultivation method that she cultivated, Moon Will technique, was extremely unique. At the moment of her death, her primordial spirit would leave her body and reconstruct her physical body using moonlight to escape from the divine space sea. Even though she managed to keep her life, it was difficult for her cultivation base to recover. Moreover, her half-step void refinement realm magic power had fallen to the early divine transformation realm. The excess magic power turned into moonlight and was sealed inside her body. Once it explodes, she might even lose her life at any time. This physical body of hers was just the appearance of Yu Lingkong when she was 8 years old. Unless her cultivation base recovers, otherwise, she would not be able to grow up. Logically speaking, no one under the heavens would recognize her appearance. However, this young man at the late nascent soul stage in front of her actually knew her identity. How did he know? Moreover, this arrogant young man actually said that I am his human cauldron. What a joke! In the endless sea, who dares to make Yu Lingkong, the #1 expert of the internal sea, a human cauldron? Isn't he afraid of dying in bed when he plucks her? If you dare to pluck me, I will take your life. Tell me, who are you? Why did you capture me? If your answer satisfies me, I will let you go and let you go. Being trapped in the hands of an enemy, even the little girl who was arrogant could not help but speak in a gentler tone. However, when this childish voice fell into Ning Fan's ears, it turned into a cold sneer. It was because he had heard the inner voice of the little girl. The childish voice, humph. For the time being, I will give in first and immediately leave this world. This small kiliacosm has already been fortified. Even I won't be able to escape once I am sucked into it. After I leave this world treasure, I will kill this young man. In this way, no one in the endless sea will know that I, Yu Lingkong, am still alive. My second primordial spirit will certainly not know about this. There is still a chance for me to take back the divine space island. However, before that, I must first find a male human cauldron. After plucking me, I will vent the excess magic power out of my body. That male cultivator will certainly not be able to withstand my magic power. He will certainly die. However, the chaste body that I, Yu Lingkong, have cultivated for 4,000 years will be buried just like that. Oh. If I let you go, you can kill me in the outside world. What is a second primordial spirit? What? Do you know the mind-reading technique? How do you know what I am thinking? Yu Lingkong's small face turned pale. It was her first time seeing a magic technique that could read other people's mind. My name is Ning Fan. My alias is Zhou Ming. You are my human cauldron. Listening to your inner voice, it seems like you need to find a male cultivator to pluck you to vent your excess magic power. Coincidentally, I am very interested in your cultivation base. With my plucking technique, I will certainly be able to satisfy you. Before that, you should consider it carefully, you really know the mind-reading technique. The little girl's small face alternated between red and white. She was so embarrassed and angry that she wanted to kill someone to vent her anger. What an audacious late nascent soul realm cultivator. Your name is Ning Fan, right? How dare you put your lust on me? Honestly, with her current predicament, it was a wise move to find a male cultivator and vent her excess magic power to protect herself. However, her pride would not allow her to kneel in front of someone and become his human cauldron. In her 4,000 years of cultivation, she had killed people like scything flax. The name Yu Lingkong was feared by everyone in the internal sea. Even the other 6 venerated beings of the internal sea did not dare to say anything frivolous to her. However, the little girl suddenly had an illusion. Even though the young man in front of her was only at the late nascent soul realm, he could really pluck me. Even if he had to use force. However, if he uses force, the effect of plucking would be greatly reduced. That was why this young man gave her a chance to consider. Not to mention the grand formation here, it would be difficult for her to win against that corpse devil with her current strength. If you dare to blaspheme me, I will definitely kill your entire clan. The little girl raised her small face. She had a haughty aura. It seems like you still don't understand your current situation. Seal. Ning Fan took out a jade slip and recorded the details of the auction in it. Then, he tossed it to the little girl. With a thought, he activated the grand formation and sealed the little girl inside it. Only then did he leave the Yuanya world with the female corpse. The little girl caught the jade slip. As soon as she read the contents, her face immediately turned as cold as ice. How dare you? The other 6 venerated beings. How dare they? How dare they sell me as their human cauldron? How dare they take turns to search my memories? Courting death. Slowly withdrawing her anger, the little girl immediately realized a very serious problem. Now that she had regained her consciousness, if she leaves the Yuanya world, the 6 venerated beings would certainly capture her, search her soul and interrogate her. As for her identity as Yu Lingkong, once it is exposed to the 6 venerated beings, a few of their enemies would be more than willing to kill her. It seems like I can't leave the Yuanya world. Unless the matter of the divine space island is settled or unless I recover my half-step void refinement realm cultivation base, putting aside the question of whether she should leave the Yuanya world or not, the problem now was that Ning Fan would not let her go at all. It was not difficult to break the grand formation, but she would never be able to leave this world. She urgently needed a male human cauldron to pour her magic power into that unlucky fellow's body in order to save her life. If she could not leave, there would naturally be no male cultivator. Other than Ning Fan who could enter this world, there would probably be no one else who could dual cultivate with her. The little girl's expression turned gloomy. There were only two paths in front of her. One was death. The other was to be plucked by Ning Fan. Damn it! I, Yu Lingkong, have lived unhindered for 4,000 years. Now, I actually fell to the point where I have no choice but to dual cultivate with a man. How could this happen? In the room of the profound Jade Palace, Ning Fan and the female corpse appeared. The female corpse wore an indifferent expression. She was not interested in Yu Lingkong at all. However, Ning Fan's expression was filled with uncertainty. I didn't expect that I would awaken this woman's memories by accident. What's more, I didn't expect her to be the leader of the 7 venerated beings of the Internal Sea, the Lord of the Divine Space Island, Yu Lingkong. If that's the case, there will be countless troubles for me to pluck this woman. It's a little difficult to break the defense of her body and plant the plucking finger on her. Besides, this woman is a half-step void refinement realm cultivator. Even though her cultivation base has fallen, she might have a way to temporarily recover some of her strength and kill me if I push her too far. If I want to pluck this woman, I can only make her yield. Forget it. If she doesn't submit to me, she will definitely die. With her fierce and decisive personality, she probably won't choose death for her purity. I'll deal with this woman after the trip to the secret realm of the broken world. If I can improve my strength in the secret realm, I won't be able to control her even if she doesn't obey me. Even if she is the woman of a supreme being of the Internal Sea, she will still be my human cauldron. Besides, once I subdue this woman, all the female cultivators of the Divine Space Island under her command will become my human cauldron. This woman seems to have quite a number of Divine Transformation Realm disciples. However, the Divine Space Island seems to have gone through some unforeseen events. Is it the backlash of my second primordial spirit? It seems like it's really a wise decision for me not to cultivate my second nascent soul. Also, I won't have to face the risk of being devoured by it. Ning Fan's expression softened. He collected his thoughts and waved his palm to take out the myriad swords separating grass. There were only a few days left before the opening of the secret realm. A few days was too short. It was so short that he couldn't do anything. For the time being, he should stabilize the power of the second finger of the sword finger. Even though he had condensed this finger, it was still far from completion. After cultivating to this stage, Ning Fan was faced with a very serious problem. He had to make a choice. He had too many abilities. However, if he had too many of them, he might not be able to master them. For example, the Dragon Vortex Fire, the Sense Concealment Art and the Sense Defense Art. If he wants to raise the power of his techniques to the Divine Transformation Realm, he would need to spend too much time. Although his time was limited, there were too many things that he could do. I don't have enough time to cultivate my magic techniques. I can only use magic treasures to make up for my weaknesses when I attack and defend myself. What I need to improve at the end of the day is still my cultivation base and magic power. The advancement of my cultivation base is the foundation. As for my pill concoction technique, my elementary grade 5th revolution pill concoction technique is enough for me before I reach the Divine Transformation Realm. However, after I reach the Divine Transformation Realm, my pill concoction technique cannot fall behind. Chapter 237. To cultivators, a few days was just like a snap of a finger. 17 outer Endless Sea Great Cultivators and 74 inner Endless Sea Great Cultivators gathered at the Extreme Paradise Summit. When Ning Fan arrived alone, Su Rushan nodded his head and led the group of cultivators into the sea together with Yen Zhongzi. That's right. It was rare to see Ning Fan alone. The female corpse was kept into his cauldron ring and handed over to Bing Ling and Yu Ling to take care of. The secret realm of the broken world did not allow divine transformation realm cultivators to enter. If it was in the past, the female corpse would never leave Ning Fan's side. Today, however, as the female corpse's favorable impression of Ning Fan increased, she became more obedient to his orders. Even if she was unwilling, she could only sit quietly in the red misty space beside a small bridge and embroider on her own. The patterns she embroidered were all about Ning Fan. Alone. The female corpse muttered to herself as if she had been wronged. Ning Fan only had 5 months to stay in the secret realm of the broken world. He could only let her suffer a little during these 5 months. The entrance to the secret realm of the broken world was at the bottom of the Pleasure Devil Sea, right below the Pleasure Island. This place was rich in marine minerals. The massive magnetic force caused the deepest part of the sea to reveal a waterless space with a radius of 10,000 li. In this place, the void was unstable but it did not collapse. Instead, it was vaguely connected to another world. This place was the entrance to the secret realm. The coral minerals were as clear as crystals. The mermen and the other sea beasts retreated. Stepping on the sand, Ning Fan and the other cultivators descended to the deepest part of the sea. There were 14 nascent soul realm cultivators of the Pleasure Devil sect guarding a door of 7-colored light. The door was 3 zhang tall. It was still in a sealed state. There were still 3 days before it would be completely opened. Outside the door stood a gigantic purple crystal stele that was 100 zhang tall. Countless names were carved on it. Some of them were black while some were gray. Su Rushan's eyes met Ning Fan's. When he saw a hint of confidence in Ning Fan's eyes, he calmed down a little. Before entering the secret realm of the broken world, he needed to explain the rules to the great cultivators here. Everyone knows that those who can enter the secret realm must be cultivators below the soul formation stage. There are many dangers in the secret realm, so I don't recommend anyone who hasn't reached the grand cultivator stage to enter. This time, there are a total of 92 friends who are willing to come to the secret realm at my invitation. However, this secret realm only allows 40 people to enter at one time. Hence, whoever can enter will depend on their strength. As for the benefits of entering the secret realm, I won't say much. There will definitely be a drop of Mother Earth's nether milk. Every time you kill a pseudo-desolate beast and hand over a fey core, you will be able to exchange for a drop of nether milk. The effect of 2 drops of nether milk is equivalent to a nascent soul Dao fruit. As long as everyone finds the demon cores, this old man will not be stingy with the nether milk. Su Rushan's words caused the eyes of the cultivators to burn passionately. At this stage of cultivation, it was extremely difficult to raise his magical power by 1.5 stars. A drop of nether milk was equivalent to 10 armor. 2 drops of nether milk was equivalent to a Dao fruit. In order to obtain such treatment, these cultivators had to fight for it no matter what. Even if they entered the secret realm and didn't kill the pseudo-desolate beasts, they would still be able to obtain a drop of nether milk after entering seclusion for half a year, wouldn't they? If they were lucky enough to kill 1 or 2 desolate beasts, the benefits were self-evident. However, in the past, there had never been more than 40 grand cultivators who entered the secret realm at the same time. Therefore, late nascent soul stage cultivators could still fight for a chance. This time, there were too many grand cultivators. Among the 92, 52 of them had to be eliminated. More than half of the grand cultivators had no chance to enter the secret realm. Among this batch of grand cultivators, the strength of the cultivators from the internal sea was obviously higher than those from the outer sea. There were even a few of them who were the elites of the 7 venerated forces. It would not be easy to fight for a spot. May I know how to choose the 40 spots? An old grand cultivator asked respectfully. How to choose? Everyone, please take a look at this gigantic amethyst stele. This stele is called the Slaughter Stele. In the past, all the cultivators who entered the secret realm had to imprint their names on it. However, there are different rankings. This steel can imprint a total of 1,000 names. The higher the ranking, the stronger one is. Everyone's gaze fell upon the gigantic amethyst steel. Ning Fan's gaze swept across the steel. There were 1,000 names on the steel. Some of them were black while some were gray. Some of them were carved thousands of years ago while some of them were new cultivators who had entered the outer endless sea during the past hundreds of years. The grand cultivator who killed 11 wild beasts by himself in the past was ranked 47th. As for Su Rushan, his name was imprinted at the 13th place. Before he became a divine transformation realm cultivator, he had also entered the secret realm to fight. In the past thousands of years, his strength was ranked 13th among those who entered the secret realm. The first 12 people were all cultivators of the internal sea. They were all peak nascent soul stage cultivators in the past. Now, they were all famous divine transformation realm cultivators in the internal sea. After going through the names of 1,000 people, many old monsters were shocked. Hiss. Senior Su Rushan had also entered the secret realm in the past. However, his strength was only ranked 13th among the countless people who entered the secret realm. Look, the one ranked 7th is the sect master of the internal sea floating waves sect. He is a mid-divine transformation realm cultivator, Duan Song Yun. The one ranked 4th is the vice clan master of the Zhou clan of the internal sea, Zhou Wei. His name should have been carved 3,000 years ago. Now, Zhou Wei is a late divine transformation realm cultivator. The one ranked first is Zhu Yan. He seems to be the first person to enter the secret realm. Impressive. However, this Zhu Yan's name seems a little unfamiliar. Moreover, it seems like this person is the only one whose name is read, idiot. This Zhu Yan is the father of venerated giant, the former revered elder of the giant devil clan. He was an expert who was only half a step away from breaking through to the void refinement realm. After reading the names on the purple steel, many old monsters were eager to have a try. They wanted to see if their strength could stand out among the 92 people. They wanted to know what their ranking would be when their names are carved on the purple steel. However, there were also some old monsters who were doubtful about the black and gray color of the names. Senior Su, may I ask why the names on the steel are divided into black and gray? What does the red color mean? Even if you don't ask, I will explain it to you. As you can see, the names that are black and gray represent the people who have entered the secret realm. The gray ones naturally mean that they died in the secret realm. When Su Rushan said that, many old monsters secretly sucked in a cold breath. It was because 40% of the thousands of names on the steel were gray. In other words, the death rate of the cultivators in the secret realm of the broken world was 40%? Of course, most of the people who entered the secret realm and died in the past were late nascent soul realm or even mid-nascent soul realm cultivators. This time, all the people who entered the secret realm were peak nascent soul realm cultivators. Thus, the death rate was naturally not high. However, it still showed that the secret realm was dangerous. What about the red color? Ning Fan broke the silence and asked. The former clan master of the giant devil clan, Zhu Yan. If Ning Fan was not mistaken, the red color of his name was completely dyed red by evil qi. The red color represents that those who entered the secret realm have killed more than 100 people. I hope that I can meet fellow Taoist Zhou this time. His name is Red. Each of the old monsters was filled with deep respect for him. The former clan master of the giant devil clan had entered the secret realm alone and killed more than 100 false wild beasts within a year with his cultivation base below the divine transformation realm. His combat power was heaven-defying. No wonder he could become the former clan master of the giant devil clan. Such an expert actually lived in the era before the old monsters were born and never had the chance to meet him. Red, huh? Ning Fan's eyes lit up. He wanted to see what rank his strength would be recognized by the steel. Next, please place your palms on the purple crystal steel and inject a trace of magic power into it. The steel will automatically rank you. I'll go first. I'll be the second. The test lasted for 3 days. One by one, the eccentrics placed their hands onto the huge steel. Given the level of their cultivation bases, they carved their names onto the steel. It was a piece of cake for them to get into the top 1,000. In fact, if there were no mishaps, all of them would be in the top 500. However, the best rank among half of them was just a guest great cultivator of one of the 72 islands. He was ranked 247th. Those who could get into the top 200 must be the elites of the endless sea within 10,000 years. It was an honor to be ranked within the top 200. Let me have a try. A boy in red robes with a hoarse voice took a step forward. Immediately, the crowd gave way to him. This person was the 6th elder of the demon sealing palace, Chu He. He placed his palm on the purple crystal steel and immediately carved Chu He's name on the 174th position. This person had 9,000 units of magic power. He was a half-step divine transformation realm cultivator. His other identity was the elder brother of the 7th elder, Ing He. Moreover, the reason why Ing He was able to get into the 7th elder's position despite his late nascent soul realm cultivation base was all because of his elder brother. Chu He. It's the 7 lives Chu He. Legend has it that this person used the secret technique of the demon sealing palace, the corpse melting technique, to fuse with the corpse of a 9 lives cat. He can die 10 times. This person is a madman. He once sacrificed 3 lives to destroy the physical body of an early divine transformation realm old monster. He still has 7 lives. That was when the name, 7 Lives Devil, was spread. He was ranked within the top 100 on the Devil appraisal list. However, this person is the elder brother of Ing He. Ing He seems to be killed by venerated Ming. This Chu He won't seek trouble with venerated Ming, right? Are you stupid? Venerated Ming is the person who killed a divine transformation realm cultivator with a single finger. Even old ancestor Zigu represented the demon sealing palace to form a good relationship with venerated Ming. No matter how lawless this Chu He is, would he dare to disobey the orders of the sect and offend venerated Ming? The discussion of the crowd made Chu He's eyes turn gloomy. His short and small body turned around to look at Ning Fan, concealing his ferocious gaze. This Zhou Ming is indeed powerful. However, this old man's life is tough. It's not impossible for me to drag him to death. However, old ancestor Zigu has instructed us to prioritize the important matters in this secret realm. We have already gathered 12 king mermaids and mermen. It's barely enough for us to carry out the ancient demon sacrificial ceremony. However, if Ing He wasn't killed by Zhou Ming, if Zhou Ming didn't kill a few king mermaids and mermen, and if we managed to gather 18 king mermaids and mermen, the sacrificial ceremony would almost certainly succeed. Humph. I'll have to wait for old ancestor Zigu to personally avenge me. This time, the mission is our priority. The only thing I'm not sure about is whether this man has seen Ing He's memories or not. Since Ing He doesn't know everything about this mission, even if this Zhou Ming has seen something, he certainly won't know everything about it. Chu He's ferocious gaze was hidden very deeply. However, Ning Fan had killed countless people and was very sensitive to killing intent. He could still sense a trace of killing intent from Chu He's eyes. Demon sealing sect, Ning Fan's eyes did not move. If this Chu He dares to provoke me, I don't care if he has 7 or 70 lives, he will definitely die. All the peak nascent soul realm cultivators had their rankings tested. The first 39 people revealed a joyful expression while the latter 52 people sighed inwardly. The last person to be tested was Ning Fan. However, even a fool would know that a person who could eliminate a divine transformation realm expert would certainly be ranked in the top 40. It was highly possible that his ranking was higher than Chu He's. I wonder if venerated Zhou can enter the top 100, I bet that venerated Zhou can enter the top 50. Top 50. That's going to be a little difficult. I bet that he can enter the top 80. Humph. After He let out a cold harumph, everyone stopped discussing among themselves. Even though he could not openly provoke Ning Fan due to his mission, he was still unwilling to see Ning Fan's aura force overpowering him. He was only ranked 174th and there were actually people who bet that Ning Fan would enter the top 50, I bet that he won't enter the top 200. After all, his cultivation base is just at the late nascent soul realm. Chu He's words immediately caused an uproar among the peak nascent soul realm cultivators. Everyone had witnessed Ning Fan's combat power. However, his cultivation base had always been a mystery. Unless it was a divine transformation realm expert, no one would be able to tell that Ning Fan who stirred the external endless sea was actually just at the late nascent soul realm. Many of them snorted disdainfully at Chu He's words. They did not believe that a late nascent soul realm cultivator could kill a divine transformation realm cultivator with a single finger. However, there were also some who felt that Chu He was not lying. There were some who were envious of Ning Fan's devil might. If Ning Fan is really a late nascent soul realm cultivator, his combat power would be astonishing. However, Chu He was the only one who dared to say it in front of everyone. This person was also extremely daring. Firstly, Purple Goo had stated clearly that Ning Fan was not allowed to hurt the cultivators of the Demon Sealing Palace. Secondly, Chu He had 7 lives. He was not afraid of death. A spirit-severing realm cultivator could only kill him 3 times. Even if Ning Fan was stronger than him, Chu He was confident that he could kill Ning Fan at the cost of 3 lives. Due to the mission, he did not dare to become Ning Fan's enemy. However, he was not afraid of Ning Fan. Su Rushan's eyes darkened while Yan Zhongzi almost had the urge to curse. Ning Fan couldn't enter the top 200? What a joke! Even Yan Zhongzi himself would not be able to withstand that finger attack. Su Rushan would not be able to either. Both of them believed that Ning Fan would be able to enter the top 100, top 50, or even top 10, let alone the top 200. For a moment, Su Rushan and Yan Zhongzi hoped that Ning Fan would immediately carve his name on the list to sweep away all the rumors. Among the crowd, old ancestor Dong Su and Su Qiuling stood together with many cultivators who wanted to watch the show. Ling Er, what do you think your brother Zhou will rank? Dong Su asked with a smile. First place. Su Qiuling said firmly. Sigh. Everyone says that a woman's heart is always on the outside. You haven't even married him yet and in your eyes, brother Zhou is already unparalleled? First place. He can't get the first place. At most, he can get the 9th place. Why? Young Master Zhou is so powerful. Su Qiuling asked in confusion. You don't know this. This secret realm of the broken world was first discovered by the giant devil clan. In the first few thousand years, only early spirit-severing realm cultivators could enter this place. The person who pioneered this place was the old clan leader of the giant devil clan, Zhu Yan. He was an incredible figure in the endless sea when he was still alive. When he was roaming the endless sea, I was just a gold core realm junior who had just started cultivating the devil path. In order to pioneer this place, he killed hundreds of fake wild beasts. Currently, his actual cultivation base was already above the spirit-severing realm. After that, there were spirit-severing realm cultivators who entered this place to hunt wild beasts. Apart from Zhu Yan, the top 9 cultivators entered the place at that time. However, because Zhu Yan single-handedly slaughtered all the wild beasts, these 8 spirit-severing realm cultivators did not obtain many demon cores to refine weapons and treasures. That's why their names were not read. Otherwise, they would probably be able to kill close to 100 wild beasts. After that, there were signs of the secret realm collapsing. No spirit-severing realm cultivators could enter this place and great cultivators could no longer hunt wild beasts. After thousands of years of cultivation, the number of wild beasts gradually increased. Experts like Su Rushan entered the place after that. It can be said that the 10th place is actually the first place below the Spirit Severing Realm, because the top 9 are all Spirit Severing Realm cultivators. However, I still think that young Master Zhou can get the first place. Su Qiuling smiled faintly. Why do you have so much confidence in him? He is indeed so mysterious that I can't see through him. However, even if he enters the top 9, it's impossible for him to be the first place. It's because the first place belongs to the old venerable giant. The master who can guide the 7 venerated beings of the internal sea on how to break through to the void refinement realm. Is there anyone who can compare to him in this aspect? Su Qiuling smiled. She had unlimited confidence in Ning Fan. Ning Fan's eyes were calm as he walked to the front of the gigantic amethyst stele. He did not show off nor did he have the intention to fight. Instead, when he stood in front of the huge stele, the aura force in his eyes rose sharply. It was as if all the killing he had done in his entire life was pressed down on this palm. I want the first place. The 2 words Zhou Ming slowly appeared on the gigantic amethyst stele, appearing above the gigantic words. First place. He was the most outstanding person among all the people who had their names carved on the slaughter stele in the past countless years. Everyone had guessed wrongly. The method of judging the ranking of cultivators on the slaughter stele was not as simple as one's cultivation base or combat strength. It was not enough to judge a cultivator's combat strength alone. Most of the time, it was used to judge a cultivator's killing power. Many of the devil lords present had the experience of annihilating a country of mortals. They had the blood of tens of thousands of mortals on their hands. However, the people Ning Fan killed were only cultivators. How could an ordinary person compare to such a vicious qi? Not only did his name appear in the first place, but it was also dyed with a trace of red from the moment it appeared. That red color was a vicious qi. Ning Fan was the first person who dyed his name red with vicious qi before carving his name on the stele. At this moment, Ning Fan's eyes were still indifferent. However, his body was glowing with a vicious red light. When he turned his head and his eyes fell on Chu He felt a terrifying pressure as if he was being stared at by an ancient ferocious beast. He took a few steps back and his body was drenched in cold sweat. I must die. I must die. If I provoke this person, I will definitely die. Even if I have 7, 70, or 700 lives, this person will kill me one by one. So what if he is Zhu Yan? So what if he is a spirit severing realm expert? My enemies are all void fragmentation realm experts and true immortals. My battlefield is above the 4 heavens. In this place, I cannot be weaker than Zhu Yan. How can I be weaker than Zhu Yan? Ning Fan's battle intent rose. At this moment, the secret realm opened at the end of the 3 days. Like a sharp arrow, he stepped into the 7-colored door of light in one step. The people behind him were destined to be inferior to him. Because from the very beginning, they didn't have the ambition to be number 1, they didn't have the ambition to surpass Zhu Yan. However, if one did not have a resolute heart, one would not be able to become an immortal even if there were millions of fortuitous opportunities. Su Rushan and Yan Zhongzi looked at each other and didn't speak for a long time. However, their eyes were filled with shock. All the great cultivators were shocked speechless, and they even forgot to enter the door of light. Su Qiuling revealed a cheerful smile. She was the only one who believed in Ning Fan's strength. Master, Ling is right. Cough, cough, cough. Little girl, did you already know that Zhou Ming is stronger than the early divine transformation realm venerable? I don't know, but Ling believes in young Master Zhou. The cultivators of the Endless Sea were not as good as young Master Zhou. The cultivators of the Rain World were not as good as young Master Zhou. The cultivators of the 9 worlds were not as good as young Master Zhou. The cultivators of the 4 heavens were not as good as young Master Zhou. Perhaps there are countless people whose cultivation base is higher than young masters, but one day, young Master Zhou will step on the peak of heaven and earth. Ling believes. Lass, you are blindly trusting him, so what if I'm blind? Is it wrong to trust a person without regret? Chapter 238. The rainbow-colored gate of light teleported all the great cultivators away. Within the 70 million li region, Ning Fan stood on a mountain peak with the map of the secret realm in his hand. With a sweep of his divine sense, it covered a radius of 3,000 miles. After observing the terrain, he confirmed that he was in the eastern region of the secret realm. He frowned. The demonic spiritual energy in this place was so dense. As the name suggests, demonic spiritual energy is the spiritual energy of heaven and earth that only demonic cultivators can absorb and cultivate. The amount of demonic spiritual energy here was so great that it was almost like the demon clan was blessed by the heavens to cultivate. If converted to the heaven and earth spiritual energy of the human clan, the density of the spiritual energy here was 10 times that of the metal spiritual energy of the Joyous Union Island. Even the high-grade cultivation countries in the Endless Sea might not necessarily have such a level of spiritual power. Perhaps only the cultivation countries with void refinement realm and void fragmentation realm experts would have the possibility of possessing such spiritual power. Such a dense amount of demon spiritual energy is indeed enough to allow a demon beast to cultivate at an extraordinary speed. However, if ordinary demonic beasts were to evolve into desolate beasts in a few hundred years, it still wouldn't be enough. Furthermore, if it was just a place with dense spirit energy, demonic beasts wouldn't just evolve with magic power that was comparable to desolate beasts, their cultivation realms would also increase. There was something strange about this place. There should be other reasons for the demonic beasts to increase their strength. However, due to the demonic spiritual force, Ning Fan's plan had some changes. According to Ning Fan's initial plan, he was going to open up a cave in this place and improve his strength first. Then, he would use the remaining time to wipe out the false wild beasts. However, to refine the Mother Earth nether milk, firstly, there wasn't enough time, and secondly, the location wasn't right. Furthermore, it was not a good place to refine the Dao fruit and the blue phoenix flame. The heaven and earth spirit chi in this place was too thin. If he wanted to increase his strength in this place, the most suitable place would be to increase his demonic power. Demonic power. Ning Fan stood at the peak of the mountain and his eyes narrowed. He had only been in this mystic realm for a few breaths, but several bird-type demonic beasts had already flapped their wings and attacked him with vicious cries. At the end of the sky, there was a group of more than 10 black-feathered eagles. Each of them was more than 1,000 feet long and had the demonic power of a nascent soul cultivator. The silver-winged eagle in the lead was even more than 1,000 feet long. Desolate beast, Ning Fan's sword sense swept across and the black light dispersed. The nascent soul realm demon eagle's body was immediately crushed and its blood splattered across the sky. His demonic power needed to reach the nascent soul level, but his realm was still at the early golden core stage. The sword sense was enough to kill him. Rays of red light that could not be erased rose around Ning Fan's body. It was evil chi. This murderous aura was enough to make a real desolate beast afraid. However, this fake desolate beast seemed to be possessed. Its eagle eyes were blood red and it did not know fear. With a flap of its wings, a black wind blew. The black wind covered 1,000 miles and turned into black feathers. Each of them was powerful enough to kill a late-stage golden core cultivator. This eagle was called Black Falcon. Black wind turning to feathers was just a Jin Dan level Yao art. However, with the demonic power of the soul formation level, the black feathers covered the sky and the sun. There were probably tens of thousands of them. In other words, it was not difficult for the eagle to kill tens of thousands of golden cores with a single flap of its wings. Even a nascent soul cultivator would find it hard to defend against tens of thousands of black feathers. It is ultimately a pseudo-desolate beast. It can't even control heaven and earth essence force, much less the heaven spirit art. Ning Fan completely ignored Heiyu. He took a step forward and with a flash of his half-transformed black smoke, he directly crossed the distance of several thousand zhang and appeared on the head of the giant eagle. With a cold glint in his eyes, he raised his foot and stomped down. His stomp was like the fall of a devil mountain. Wherever he stepped on, countless cracks spread across the sky. Under the immense strength of the Jade Life Realm, the giant eagle's head was crushed by Ning Fan's stomp before it could even struggle. However, as soon as the eagle's head was crushed, a black wind immediately swirled and another head was born. This was out of Ning Fan's expectation. The demonic beasts in this place did not have strong techniques, but their lives were pretty tough. One should know that cultivators would usually slack off after killing their enemies. If their enemies were to come back to life and deal a fatal blow to them, they would probably die due to carelessness. No wonder 40% of the cultivators in this place would die. As expected, when the eagle's head was reborn, the giant eagle revealed a furious expression. The black feathers on its body fell like swords and pierced towards Ning Fan, who was on top of his head. However, Ning Fan was still standing on the giant eagle's head with his hands clasped behind his back. His eyes focused and a faint jade-colored astral spirit rose around his body. It was like a huge jade-colored cocoon of light, enveloping him within. This jade-colored astral spirit could only be used by Jade Life Realm cultivators. By using the strength of their physical body to suppress the primordial chi of heaven and earth, they would transform the primordial wind of heaven and earth into the astral spirit's protection. Even a strike from a peak nascent soul realm cultivator would not be able to destroy this astral spirit. As long as these black feathers were elementary-grade astral spirit shields, they would immediately be burnt into nothingness by jade-colored flames. Tens of thousands of black feathers were burnt to ashes. The astral spirit had only used up 1/3 of its spiritual power and it had yet to dissipate. That's all you've got? Mountain crushing. Ning Fan pointed his finger and the mountains within 1,000 li began to crumble. Every time a mountain crumbled, the force of his finger became stronger. When the mountains collapsed and the earth cracked, 1,000 li of ruins were destroyed. The blood-red eyes of the giant eagle revealed an instinctive fear for the first time. However, this fear was already too late. Just as this fear rose and wanted to escape, it was annihilated by that unknown blood-red color and turned into an immortal battle intent. Roar! The giant eagle frantically shook off its black feathers to attack Ning Fan even though it was futile. All of its struggles stopped and Ning Fan pressed the sword light on his fingertip. A dark yellow finger sword was born. The sword light was like an aurora. With a tremble, it went into the giant eagle's head. Then, it exploded within its 1,000 zhang body, turning into countless hair-thin sword threads that were torn apart. A moment later, the giant eagle's 1,000 zhang body exploded into a mist of blood. Blood rained down on the ground within a radius of several thousand zhang. Ning Fan stood in the sky and flicked his sleeve. A fist-sized black demon core appeared in his hand. Then, he waved one of his hands and grabbed at the blood rain. Be it the blood mist that was drifting away or the blood that seeped into the ruins, all of them were drawn back and turned into a large black blood ball that floated in front of him. After continuously compressing the blood ball, it slowly condensed into a drop of glossy black demon blood. The blood of a false wild beast. Ning Fan kept the demon core and left it to Su Rushan. However, this demon blood was a great tonic that could increase one's demon power. In this place where the demon's spiritual power was extremely dense, if Ning Fan had enough demon blood, his demon power cultivation base might reach a terrifying level. A drop of this false wild beast's black blood was enough to increase one's demon power by 1 level. However, Ning Fan did not devour the black blood immediately. His eyes eventually fell on the demon blood and his gaze suddenly froze. Within the black demon blood, there was an extremely thin trace of pale golden blood that was slowly dissipating in the air. This is, Ning Fan flicked his finger. The black blood trembled and the faint golden color within it was forced out by him. It was then absorbed into his hand. It was a trace of pale golden blood. However, the demon power it contained was almost 2 times that of the black blood. Moreover, this trace of pale golden blood revealed a kind of aura force that was even stronger than Dong Su and Yulinkong's aura force. Without a doubt, this was the blood of an expert of the demon race. It was even stronger than a peak divine transformation realm expert or a half-step void refinement realm expert. It must be the blood of a void refinement realm demon marshal. The blood of a demon marshal. Could it be that this blood is the reason why the demon beasts turned into the false wild beast? Is it the reason why the giant eagle did not dare to run away even though it was clearly afraid of it? This pale golden blood was so dense that it could not be devoured immediately. It could only be devoured with the help of demon herbs. Ning Fan patted his storage pouch and kept the trace of pale golden blood into a jade bottle. However, at the next moment, another jade bottle in his storage pouch seemed to resonate with this bottle of pale golden blood. That jade bottle was the one Ning Fan snatched from the companion demon of the carp when he was in Great Gene. He remembered that there was a drop of extremely powerful demon blood in that bottle. With Ning Fan's harmonious spirit realm back then, he must not devour that demon blood. Now, however, his body was strong enough to withstand the power of that demon blood. He remained silent. Then, he took out the jade bottle and probed it with his spirit sense. Inside the bottle was a complete drop of pale golden blood. An entire drop of demon marshal's blood. This drop of blood should be condensed from 100 traces of blood. A trace of pale golden blood could increase the demon power of 2 units. A drop of pale golden demon blood could increase the demon power of 200 units. After keeping the 2 jade bottles, Ning Fan opened his mouth and swallowed the black blood of the giant eagle. It did not take him too long to refine it. His demon power had increased to 67 units. The speed of absorbing demon blood in this place was unimaginably fast. However, the speed of refining items that could increase one's magic power was surprisingly slow. The blood of a demon marshal. Why would this item appear in this secret realm? Could it be that there is a demon marshal whose cultivation base is comparable to the void refinement realm in this secret realm? Moreover, the golden blood that I obtained from the giant eagle's body and the one that Li Ban possesses are obviously from the same demon marshal. Li Ban. The reason why this secret realm exists might not be simple. Ning Fan patted his storage pouch and took out the map again. He stared at the empty area that was 70 million li away with a solemn expression. Could it be that there is a demon marshal in that inaccessible area? Could this place be related to the secret of the ancient demon race? After keeping the map, Ning Fan shook his cauldron ring and summoned the Wind Lady and the Tea Lady. After being plucked by Ning Fan, the 2 of them only had Gold Core Realm demon power left. However, after a period of nourishment, their complexion became much better than before. The 2 of them seemed to be discussing something. As soon as they saw Ning Fan summoning them out of the red misty space, their bodies trembled and they stopped talking. "Greetings, Master. May I know what orders you have for me?" The 2 of them lowered their heads at the same time. Their beautiful hair covered their faces. Their faces were still full of scars. "I'm sorry. I promised you that I would concoct the appearance restoration pill, but I didn't have the time to do so. Is that so? Even if Master doesn't concoct the pill, I wouldn't dare to resent you." Under the purple hair of the Wind Lady, a hint of disappointment flashed across her eyes. She was naturally disappointed that there was no appearance restoration pill. However, so what? She was Ning Fan's cauldron. Even if Ning Fan lied to her, she could not resent him. "However, I have already gathered all the spiritual herbs. Don't worry. As long as my cauldron is beautiful, it will be fine." Ning Fan smiled faintly and caressed their cheeks with his palm. Immediately, the Tea Lady revealed a coquettish smile while the Wind Lady was slightly touched. So, the 5th revolution pill, the appearance restoration pill, naturally required 10,000 years old spiritual herbs. Ning Fan had already gathered enough spiritual herbs in such a short period of time. Thus, he naturally placed the task of healing their appearances in his heart. It was hard for the Wind Lady not to move. When she was a demon companion and had a lowly status, she had no choice but to disobey even if the demon general wanted to destroy her appearance. However, her new master was actually willing to restore their appearances. Thank you. The Wind Lady smiled for the first time. Even though her appearance was extremely ugly, her smile was very beautiful. If you want to thank me, wait until the day the pill is concocted. Now, I want to ask the two of you, do you know about this place? From Ning Fan's point of view, if this place was really related to the ancient demon race and the demon marshal was involved, the two ladies who were the companions of the demon general would more or less know something. However, when the two ladies saw this place, they immediately revealed a look of surprise. Master, how did you find this place? This place. This is the land of slumber. There might be demon generals or even demon marshals in slumber. It's extremely dangerous. As human cauldrons, the two ladies were concerned about Ning Fan's safety for the first time in their lives. The land of slumber. If that's the case, there really is a demon marshal here. Ning Fan's eyes turned solemn. Yes. If I'm not mistaken, this place should be the first world. Chapter 239. The First World. It was Ning Fan's first time hearing about it. Master should know that the demon spirit land is the heaven realm where heavenly demons ascend. The heaven realm of the human race is divided into 4 heavens while the demon spirit realm is divided into the awakening realm and the dream realm. Demon General Li Ban and me are the ones who awaken from the dream realm. They were ordered by the demon marshal to find the demon generals and demon marshals in the sleeping place in the lower world to wake them up and complete a certain mission. As for the details, we don't know about them since we are lowly demon companions. Li Ban. Ning Fan frowned. No wonder this demon was so domineering and dared to trigger a demon tide without permission. No wonder the Rain Palace did not dare to kill this demon easily. It turns out that he is someone from the higher realm. What is the sleeping place and what is the first world? Ning Fan continued to ask. Master, the sleeping place used to be a part of the dream realm. There were also ancient demons sleeping there. Due to some reasons, the dream realm was broken and separated. Then, it flowed into the lower world in the form of a broken realm. This secret realm of the broken world is actually a sleeping place. There should be demon generals and demon marshals sleeping there. The most obvious feature of the sleeping place is that the first world is raising demons and the second world is where the demon general's egg is. If there is a demon marshal, the demon marshal would be sleeping in the third world. The demon spiritual chi in this place is so shocking. It is highly possible that there is a demon marshal. This place is very dangerous. The two ladies' eyes were filled with concern. Is it possible to pass through the first world, the second world and the third world? No. Unless someone sets up an ancient demon formation, uses ancient demon sacrificial tools, chants ancient demon scriptures and sacrifices a certain amount of demon blood, only then can the passage be opened temporarily. The demon nurturing in the first realm is to provide nourishment for the demon generals in their slumber in the second realm. The demon generals in their slumber need demon companions to protect them while the demon marshals in their slumber need the demon generals to protect them. If the passageway can be entered at will, it will be dangerous for the ancient demon clan in their slumber. Is that so? Ning Fan pondered for a while. If the first world and the second world were not connected, he would not be in danger even if there was a sleeping demon marshal here. It wasn't dangerous, but when he thought of the faint golden blood, Ning Fan's interest towards the so-called sleeping demon marshal suddenly rose. The sleeping demon commander is unable to retaliate. If I kill that demon commander, I wonder how many drops of golden blood I will obtain. A drop of golden blood contained 100 blood traces which was equivalent to 200 units of magic power. If Ning Fan has 50 drops of golden blood, he might be able to break through to the divine transformation realm with his demon power after killing this slumbering demon. It was not easy to turn into a god with magic power, and one still had to make preparations to turn into a demon. However, with demonic power, there were fewer such concerns. If I can infiltrate the second realm or the third realm, I will be able to find a way to kill the sleeping demon marshal. Once I succeed, I will be able to break through to the divine transformation realm with my demonic energy. However, putting aside the fact that Ning Fan did not understand ancient demon formations or the ancient demon language, it would be rather difficult for him to enter the second world. Both of you are from the ancient demon race. Do you know about ancient demon formations and ancient demon runes? Ning Fan's eyes lit up. A little bit. But master, why do you ask this? Could it be that you want to, that's right. I want to enter the second realm and find a chance to enter the third realm to slay the demon commander. The demon commander was powerful and Ning Fan was no match for him. However, if it was in a slumber state, it might not be impossible for him to kill it. This was a great opportunity. If it wasn't for the two ladies, Ning Fan would not know the true face of the secret realm. If it wasn't for his powerful abilities, he would not be able to see through the trace of faint golden demon blood hidden in the fake desolate demon blood. Since the opportunity had come, it would be a pity to miss it. The two ladies were still doubtful. Putting aside the scarcity of materials required to set up the formation and the harsh requirements for blood sacrifice, there might be many demon generals in the second realm who had awakened to protect the demon marshal. If Ning Fan entered the second realm with his cultivation base which had yet to reach the divine transformation realm, he would be in great danger if he was chased by the demon generals. Don't be afraid. Unless I die, the two of you will be fine. As for me, I, Ning Fan, will not die. Tell me, what materials are needed to set up the demon formation in the second realm? Master, we need to grind the purple demon rock into powder and inscribe the formation using spirit sense. We also need at least 10 million immortal jades to fill the formation eye. However, our status is low and the amount of ancient demon runes that we can read is limited. We might not be able to successfully activate the grand formation. Moreover, the most crucial factor to successfully activate the passage of the world is the blood of the king beast as an offering to the demon ancestor. The two girls were touched. Ning Fan's words were obviously arrogant, but because of his extraordinary strength, it was like a calming pill that could always make people feel at ease. I've gotten quite a lot of purple demon stones from Su Russian. It should be enough. Immortal jade is not a problem as well. As for the blood essence of the king beasts, I should be able to collect some along the way to the North Region Realm Passage. As for the two of you, you're not proficient in the ancient demon characters. If you really fail, even heavens can do nothing about it. There's no need for the two of you to feel pressured. Ning Fan gently patted their beautiful hair to comfort them. If he couldn't enter the second world, then he could only give up and not force it. However, if he could, he would definitely find a way to obtain the demon commander's blood and break through to the divine transformation realm. 1 month passed. In the vast secret realm of the broken world, Ning Fan traveled all the way to the north. With his instantaneous movement technique that was comparable to a divine transformation realm expert, it was not difficult for him to travel 1 million li in a single day. Ning Fan did not conceal his qi at all as he held the Tea Lady and Wind Lady in his arms. He even smeared the demon enticing fragrance on his body. He had traveled all the way to the north in order to reach the blank area of the northern region that was 15 million miles away, the world passage that led to the second realm. Under the temptation of the demon enticing fragrance, all the false wild beasts within a radius of hundreds of thousands of li attacked him. There were giant mountain apes that were taller than mountains and black turtles that were as large as islands. However, no matter what kind of wild beasts they were, none of them could stop Ning Fan's footsteps. After traveling for 1 month, Ning Fan had almost flown across 15 million li. Behind him, there were 7 gigantic black apes that were chasing after him crazily. Each of them was 1,000 zhang tall. Behind the gigantic apes were several hundred zhang tall green apes. Each of them had at least the chi of a nascent soul realm cultivator. He had already lost count of how many times they had chased after him. There were at least 300 false wild beast demon cores in his storage pouch. Ning Fan landed on the peak of a barren mountain and put the two ladies down. Holding the profound heavenly spirit-slaying sword in his hand, his eyes flashed with a cold light. Soul extraction. He made a grabbing motion with his hand and the souls of mountains and rivers that were 10,000 li were sucked into his hand. With the support of 10,000 units of magic power, he swung his sword horizontally. A green thread connected the sky and tore the hollow space within 10,000 li apart. Wherever the green thread passed, the heavens would be torn apart. 7 black apes and several hundred green apes were killed with a single slash. 7 false wild beast demon cores and several hundred false nascent soul realm demon cores were obtained. 7 drops of black beast blood, several hundred drops of deep green beast blood and 7 traces of faint golden demon martial blood were also obtained. After cleaning up the battlefield, Ning Fan returned to the peak of the mountain. He felt a little exhausted. After getting rid of the bewitching fragrance on his body, Ning Fan consumed a few heart essence pills and silver blood pills to adjust his magic power and physical strength. There are many more wild beasts here compared to the map. This map was recorded by Su Rushan when he entered the secret realm. It was thousands of years ago. After thousands of years of cultivation, there should be more than a few hundred wild beasts here. I'm afraid there are more than 1,000 of them. If he could wipe out 1,000 wild beasts, not only would he obtain 1,000 drops of false wild beast blood, but he would also obtain 10 drops of demon martial blood. His demon power would probably increase by 3,000 units. In other words, even if he could not enter the second world, it would not be difficult for him to break through to the peak nascent soul realm with the help of the false wild beasts in the first world. If he succeeds in entering the second world, there were only a few million li left before he reached the northern region realm. While Ning Fan was refining the medicinal power, the 2 female demons guarded him carefully. Even though their gold core realm demon power did not make a difference whether they were guarding him or not, their intentions showed that they had gradually accepted Ning Fan as their new master. Moreover, they began to respect him from the bottom of their hearts. The Tea Lady admired Ning Fan's temperament while the Wind Lady respected Ning Fan's courage and strength. For the past month, the Wind Lady had witnessed Ning Fan single-handedly annihilating 300 wild beasts and tens of thousands of false nascent soul realm demonic beasts. This man definitely had the strength to wipe out the entire first world. The Wind Lady could not even imagine that Ning Fan had mastered the void fragmentation realm divine ability, soul extraction, before he attained the spirit severing realm. Extracting the souls of mountains and rivers was like adding a secret technique to his body, allowing him to break through 10,000 units of magic power for a short period of time. Then, he activated the incomplete profound heaven treasure and killed his enemies with a single slash. Even Demon General Li Ban, who had a spirit-severing realm cultivation base, was only this powerful, wasn't it? Moreover, compared to Li Ban's coldness and indifference, Ning Fan's treatment towards the 2 women was unknowingly gentle. The Wind Lady could not help but chuckle when she recalled that she had chased after Ning Fan for the All-Heaven relic. I'm really very foolish. She took out a purple jade slip and imprinted dozens of ancient demon characters in her sea of consciousness onto it. After Ning Fan exhaled a mouthful of turbid qi and recovered his essence, qi, and spirit, she passed it to him. This is. The ancient demon characters are just the most common type of demon characters. Moreover, I'm not talented and can only recognize these 31 characters, is that so? I heard that the ancient demon characters are extremely obscure and the large clans seem to have inherited some special characters such as the dragon language and the phoenix language. Moreover, every stroke of the ancient demon characters contains a talisman pattern. Even if you search your soul, you won't be able to find out the meaning of the characters from the ancient demon's sea of consciousness. As a member of the demon race, it would be a great crime if you leak the ancient demon characters to the human race. Don't you regret giving me this jade slip? As long as Master doesn't betray me, I naturally won't regret it. Will Master betray me? The Wind Lady raised her head. Although her face was ruined under her purple hair, her eyes were infatuated. What do you think? Ning Fan smiled and stroked her purple hair. Then, he carried the two ladies and teleported to the Northern Realm Passage. He did not say much. The evaluation of him in the external Endless Sea was that he was ruthless, cunning, arrogant, despicable and shameless, lustful but not cold-blooded. His embrace was not generous but it made her feel at ease. In the end, Ning Fan did not continue to hunt the false wild beasts after traveling for several million li. The demon cores that Su Rushan needed had already exceeded his quota. Moreover, he was already very close to the Realm Passage. If he were to cause a huge commotion here and attract the attention of the demon generals of the Second World, he might be besieged by the demon generals as soon as he sets up the formation to open the Realm Passage. Moreover, he did not have enough time. 1 month had passed and there were still 4 months left. He must leave the secret realm after 4 months. The way to leave was simple. He just needed to set up a low-grade nascent realm formation, separation formation, and he would be able to leave this place. This kind of formation was widely used in the exploration of the secret realm. There were even people who specialized in selling the formation plate of the separation formation to the cultivators who were exploring the secret realm. When they encountered danger, they could just activate the formation plate if they had no time to set up a formation. He was not sure if 4 months was enough for him to rush to the third world from the second world. If the second world was a few hundred million li wide, Ning Fan might miss the chance to meet the sleeping demon marshal. Since everything was still uncertain, Ning Fan could only give it a try. 2 days later, he was still a million li away from the realm passage of the northern region. At this distance, he could already see a 7-colored barrier blocking the path between the first world and the second world. Perhaps it was because they were afraid of the 7-colored light, there were not many wild beasts that dared to stay in this place. However, at this crucial moment, Ning Fan's eyes suddenly turned cold and he stopped in his tracks. This was because a teleportation light suddenly lit up a few hundred li in front of him. Almost immediately, Ning Fan carried the two ladies in his arms and used the sense concealment art to hide their traces. Teleportation formation plate. Each of the teleportation formation plate was engraved with a spirit-severing teleportation formation that could teleport 100,000 li. It was usually used by spirit-severing realm cultivators to escape after they were defeated in a battle. It was extremely precious. The formation plate could be used repeatedly. However, it would cost 100,000 immortal jades for every 100,000 li. Moreover, it could only be used for the second time after 2 hours. After entering the 7-colored light gate, even though the 40-peak nascent soul realm cultivators were teleported separately, most of them were tens of millions of li away from the realm passage of the northern region. This person must have spent at least tens of millions of immortal jades to travel to the realm passage of the northern region with the help of the formation plate. I'm afraid his objective is not simple. After the light of the teleportation formation disappeared completely, the person who appeared was actually the 6th elder of the demon sealing sect, Chu He. This was out of Ning Fan's expectation. What is this Chu He planning to do by rushing to the realm passage of the northern region? Could it be that the demon sealing sect is planning something in this secret realm of the broken world? Chu He held the formation plate in his hand and took a step out of the formation light. Suddenly, his eyes turned solemn and he turned around and shot out a red sea of fire at Ning Fan's direction. After seeing that the sea of fire did not burn anyone, Chu He's expression relaxed. However, there was a strange look in his eyes. I clearly sensed the aura of other cultivators, but it turned out to be an illusion. Forget it. It's most likely that there were cultivators who passed by this place but they had already left. The mission is more important. There are still 1,000,000 miles to the world passage. I should be able to reach the world passage tonight. I wonder if the people from the second realm have arrived. It's not difficult to open the secret realm's world passage, but the demon realm's world passage is a little troublesome. The demon realm will send at least 10 demon generals here. If we neglect Lord Li Ban, it will be even more troublesome. After Chu He finished speaking, he flew for 2 hours in the sky. Then, he used up another 100,000 immortal jades to travel another 100,000 kilometers. They continued to travel like this. After Chu He walked far away, Ning Fan appeared. His eyes narrowed. As a force of the rain world, the demon sealing palace actually colluded with the demon world. Judging from their words, it seems like they are going to set up a formation to directly open the world passage here. However, there are 2 world passages. One leads to the second world and the other leads to the demon world. The demon general of the demon realm was coming to this mystic realm. Among them, there was a name that Ning Fan was extremely familiar with, Li Ban. Carp Ban. Interesting. Let's follow and see. Ning Fan hugged the 2 girls and quietly followed behind Chu He. Chapter 240. One day later, under the Rainbow Light Realm. Chu He halted his footsteps and landed on the ground. He did not sense that Ning Fan was following him. Not only did he use the sense-concealing art, but he also consumed a high-grade 4th revolution pill together with the 2 ladies. In this way, even if a spirit-severing realm demon general were to descend, he would not be able to sense Ning Fan. For the sake of safety, Ning Fan was still 10,000 li away from Chu He. With Ning Fan's spirit sense, which was only at the half-step divine transformation realm, he could only detect up to 3,000 li. However, he had secretly left a trace of hidden fragrance on Chu He's body. With that, it was enough for him to track Chu He. In order to keep a close watch on Chu He, Ning Fan consumed a mid-grade 4th revolution pill, the sense-increasing pill. Within a few hours, his spirit sense became thinner and thinner. However, it gradually spread to a range of 10,000 li, which was comparable to the range of a spirit-severing expert. However, the essence of his spirit sense remained unchanged. These were all pills that Su Rushan had given him, but at this moment, they came in handy. Chu He was very careful. After confirming that there was no one around, he began to grind the purple demon stone into powder, determine the eye of the formation, and inscribe the formation runes. A day later, the ancient demon array was completed. Although it was a transcendent array, it had a faint connection with the Rainbow Light Realm. This formation was the key to opening the world passage to the second realm. With Chu He's cultivation, he was able to set it up. Once the formation was complete, Chu He took out dozens of ancient demon sacrificial artifacts. After arranging them, he only needed to chant the ancient demon scriptures and sacrifice the king beast to open the path to the second world. However, Chu He didn't immediately sacrifice the king beast. Instead, he left the formation and took out a 6-legged bronze beast demon statue. He placed it in another location. Then, he took out 8 dried corpses and placed them around the demon statue. Every corpse was a true desolate beast when they were alive. Chu He took out 8 merfolk king beasts one after another. After killing them, he smeared their blood on the dried corpses. Then, he once again infused the powder of the violet demonic stone into his spiritual sense to carve arrays. When the formation was complete, he recited ancient scriptures and bowed to the demon statue. With every kowtow, the demon statue would tremble. After 10 kowtows, the first corpse crumbled and its blood energy was absorbed by the demon statue. After 100 kowtows, the second and third corpses were crushed. After 1,000 kowtows, the 4th, 5th, and 6th corpses were crushed. After 10,000 kowtows, the 7th and 8th corpses shattered. After absorbing the blood energy of the 8 corpses, the demon statue emitted a trace of ancient and mysterious light. A crack appeared on the top of its head, extending all the way to its feet. It was as if he was on the verge of collapse, but his vitality was insufficient. 10,000 li away, Ning Fan's eyes narrowed. This demon statue looked ordinary, but there was a trace of white mist rising from it because it was kowtowing. If Ning Fan was not mistaken, that white mist should be the power that only a true immortal would possess, the power of Joss flames. This demon statue contained the incense that the demon's sealing hall had collected for thousands of years. With this power, he would open the path to the demon realm. The royal blood isn't enough to ignite the incense. How troublesome. It's all that Zhou Ming's fault for killing so many merfolk king beasts. Chu He had brought 12 beast kings with him. 8 of them had been killed and 4 were left. The remaining 4 were to be used to open the world passage in the future. But now, even the demon general was a problem. If the demon general could not come, what was the point of opening the second world passage? Forget it. Let's focus on the demon generals first. We'll talk about the rest later. He killed the beast kings again and sacrificed their blood to the demon statue. After he killed the 10th beast king, the demon statue completely shattered. A ray of white mist that was dyed dark red pierced through the void, forming a dark red misty door. The moment the misty door was formed, it was already connected to the demon realm. Through the misty door, one could observe the scenery of the demon realm. Meanwhile, 10 divine transformation realm chi and hundreds of nascent soul realm chi were approaching from the other side of the misty door. Ning Fan was very familiar with one of them. Li Ban. Interesting. Li Ban really went to the demon realm after leaving Jin country. Now, he even brought reinforcements from the demon realm and teleported them to this place. This demon and I have an ill-fated relationship. I wonder if this demon will die in the void if I destroy the portal when he transmigrates to the demon realm. You destroyed my teleportation formation that day. Today, I will destroy your portal. Ning Fan's eyes turned cold. He had never forgotten the grudge from that day. If it wasn't because he was lucky enough to escape, he would certainly die in Li Ban's hands. The reason why he allowed Chu He to set up the formation and did not kill him was because he was waiting for this opportunity. He did not hide his words from the 2 girls in his arms. However, both of them had complicated expressions in their eyes when they heard that Ning Fan wanted Li Ban. In the end, they did not dissuade him. If Li Ban knew that the 2 girls had lost their virginity to Ning Fan, he might kill them mercilessly. If they had to choose between Ning Fan and Li Ban as their master, they would rather choose Ning Fan. The chi was getting closer and closer. When a divine transformation realm demon general walked out of the portal with half of his body, Ning Fan's sword sense secretly pierced through the Joss flames of the portal and broke it. As soon as the crack was broken, the portal immediately collapsed and the void closed up. The demon general who walked out of the portal was directly torn into pieces by the power of the realm. Ah! Countless screams came from the closed portal at the same time. Then, nothing could be heard anymore. However, Ning Fan frowned. Li Ban's voice was not among the screams. It seemed like the divine transformation realm demon general who was torn apart by the power of the realm was not Li Ban. Moreover, Li Ban did not die in the void. Chu He was dumbfounded. He had spent a lot of effort to set up the formation and connect the passage to invite the divine transformation realm from the demon world. However, the result was the collapse of the portal and the fate of the demon general was unknown. Why did the portal collapse? Could it be that I, Chu He, was reluctant to sacrifice the blood of the beast kings? Was it because the amount of beast kings' blood was not enough? If I killed 12 beast kings and didn't spare the other 2, perhaps the portal wouldn't have collapsed. Is it my fault? It's over. If I fail the mission, Lord Demon Venerable will definitely not let me go. Chu He's eyes were filled with fear. However, the void in front of him suddenly collapsed. 9 demons and 1 soul walked out. 10 figures were filled with anger. Especially the divine transformation realm demon general. He was the only late divine transformation realm existence among the 10 demons. However, before he could awaken the demon marshal, his demon body was destroyed because of the collapse of the portal. If it wasn't for his powerful demon soul, he would have most likely died in the endless void. You are the person sent by the demon sealing palace to set up the formation. What formation did you set up? How could the portal collapse? You deserve to die. The demon's soul had the appearance of a silver-robed white-haired young man. His expression was cold and his eyes were bloodshot because of his anger. The big hand tore Chu-Hee's body and nascent soul apart. However, out of the white-haired young man's expectation, after Chu-Hee's nascent soul was destroyed, it was rebuilt by a strange force. This junior seems to know the fate art. The white-haired young man sneered. He took Chu-Hee's trembling nascent soul into his hand and wanted to swallow it to vent his anger. No matter how many lives you have, you will definitely die if you are swallowed. Wait. General Wang, please calm down. If we kill this person, someone will help us send a message to the demon sealing palace. An early divine transformation realm demon general in purple clothes tried to persuade him. All right. I'll spare his nascent soul for now. Tell me, why did the portal collapse? The white-haired young man said sternly. It's too big. Maybe it's because the Beast King's blood is not enough. Chu-Hee's little nascent soul was really scared to death in the white-haired young man's hand. Although this person's physical body was destroyed and his cultivation base was greatly damaged, he was originally a late deity transformation cultivator. Even though he had lost his physical body and only his demon soul remained, he still had the battle prowess of a mid-deity transformation cultivator. Mid-stage soul formation cultivators were considered top experts even in the inner sea. Chu-Hee couldn't afford to offend them. Not to mention, this person was a demon general from the demon spirit land and someone from the sky demon realm. How could he, a mere nascent soul cultivator from the lower realm, dare to offend him? Chu-Hee naturally did not expect that the collapse of the realm gate was not due to the lack of King Beast blood but Ning Fan's tricks. With that, hundreds of nascent soul realm demon companions of the 10 demon generals died in the void. With this collapse, the late-stage soul formation demon general's physical body was destroyed. Not to mention completing the mission and obtaining the reward, even if the white-haired youth didn't kill him, he would still be punished by the demon when he returned to the demon sealing hall. Why am I so unlucky? Yes, it's all because of Zhou Ming. If it weren't for him killing Beast Kings, I wouldn't have been so reluctant to sacrifice a few royal mermaids. Zhou Ming. Zhou Ming. If I, Chu-Hee, do not die, I will definitely kill you to vent my anger. I lost an innocent life, but I still have 6 lives. With 6 lives, I must kill that Zhou Ming even if I have to risk it all. Chu-Hee did not expect that this time, he really did not wrongly accuse Ning Fan. Coincidentally, the spearhead was pointed at the right person. However, the pitiful Chu-Hee immediately triggered the white-haired youth's anger when he said, insufficient King Beast blood. He clenched his fist and crushed Chu-Hee's nascent soul again. The reconstructed nascent soul still had 5 lives. You said that the collapse of the realm gate was due to insufficient King Beast blood? Ah! When he clenched his fist again, Chu-Hee cried out in pain. He still had 4 lives. King Beast. Ha! For the blood of a mere nascent soul realm beast king, Wang Zhao's demon body was destroyed. This joke isn't funny at all. Bang! The white-haired youth ruthlessly crushed Chu-Hee's nascent soul again. Then, he threw Chu-Hee's nascent soul to the ground like a pile of mud and stomped on it. Bang! He still had 2 lives left. Boom! The last stomp caused the mountains and rivers to collapse. Chu-Hee only had 1 life left. The white-haired youth sneered. It seems like you can't die, right? Humph. When you go back, tell your master to prepare a late spirit severing realm demon corpse for me to melt and devour to reconstruct my body. Quickly set up the passage to the second world. If there is any mistake, I will take your life. The white-haired youth continued to trample on Chu He. The other 9 demon generals, including the red-haired red-scaled Li Ban, did not dare to stop him. As long as the white-haired youth did not kill Chu He and did not interfere with the mission, no one was willing to offend Wang Shao for an irrelevant junior. Even Li Ban did not dare to do so. Because Li Ban was only an early spirit severing realm demon general. Among the 10 demon generals, 3 were mid-spirit severing realm demon generals and 1 was late spirit severing realm demon general, who was the injured Wang Shao. Interesting. I didn't kill Li Ban, but I managed to kill the strongest demon among the 10 demon generals, Wang Shao. With my current strength, I have 80% chance of winning against Li Ban and 20% chance of a draw. I have no chance of winning against the 3 mid-spirit severing realm demon generals, but I have 70% chance of escaping. If I fight against Wang Shao who only has his demon soul left, I still have 10% chance of escaping. If he is not injured, I will not be his opponent. A late spirit severing realm demon general and he seems to have the immemorial demon bloodline. I can even sense a trace of 8th grade demon intent from him. If he is at his peak, he might be able to fight against the 7 weakest demon generals in the internal sea. Chu He's tiny nascent soul revealed an aggrieved expression. He only had 1 life left now. No matter how much he hated Ning Fan, he would not dare to risk his life to find trouble with Ning Fan. Chu He, the 7 lives, was supposed to be meritorious in welcoming the demon generals. With this meritorious service, it was highly possible that he would be granted the path of spirit severing realm by the demon venerables. However, because of a single mistake, he lost 6 of his 7 lives. I'm really unlucky. He cursed inwardly. Then, he took out the last 2 merman king beasts and sacrificed them to the formation. However, 2 mermen were certainly not enough to open the passage. Ha! 2 king beasts trying to open the passage. No wonder the gate collapsed. Is this how you opened the gate to welcome me? The white-haired young man was so angry that he burst into laughter. He wished he could kill Chu He on the spot. It was common sense to prepare at least 18 king beasts to open the passage. Did the demon sealing sect not have such common sense? This is troublesome. Forget it. There should be quite a number of false wild beasts in the first world. I should hunt some of them before the world collapses. There should be some beast kings among them. General Wang, please wait. There's no need to waste so much time. Li Ban has a few king beasts with him. His blood can be used. The red-haired Li Ban sneered. He patted his storage pouch and took out 17 illusory demon infants. These demon infants were his companions this time. However, most of them were buried in the void. The 17 of them did not die not because of Li Ban's kindness. It was because these 17 demon companions were king beasts. Generally, these seem to be your demon companions. Isn't it inappropriate to sacrifice them? The purple-clothed demon general tried to persuade him. Inappropriate? What's inappropriate about it? Everything that belongs to the demon companions belongs to us demon generals. Why can't we kill them and sacrifice them to the formation? Li Ban's fingers turned into claws. With one swipe, the 17 demon infants were crushed and died. Li Ban waved his sleeves and sprinkled the 17 demon infants' blood on the formation. Immediately, the formation light lit up with an ancient demonic blood light. Li Ban stared coldly at Chu He's remnant demon infants and said sternly. This time, if anything happens to the passage, you will die. No, I don't dare. There are 19 demon beast king blood. It's enough. It's enough. Chu He was terrified. He activated the formation light and chanted the ancient demon scripture. A path slowly appeared above the 7-colored world of light. This time, all of you will walk in front. I will walk behind you. The white-haired young man said in a deep voice. It seemed like he was traumatized by the passage. Understood. The other demon generals naturally did not dare to disobey Wang Zhao's order. The 10 of them entered the light door one after another. This time, it was really not easy for Ning Fan to break the passage of 19 demon beasts' blood. He could not trick them. Moreover, even if he could trick them, this place was not the void and the passage was broken. The demon generals would be fine. At the moment when the demon generals passed through the passage, a flattering voice was heard from the other end of the passage. "I'm Liu Bei." He he. Greetings to the demon generals. As for Chu He heaved a sigh of relief. This time, the passage did not collapse, however, he did not know how he was going to explain this to the venerated demon when he returns. Moreover, there were still some matters that he needed to discuss with the people who welcomed him in the second world. Why am I so unlucky? Chu He wanted to cry but had no tears. 10,000 li away, Ning Fan's eyes were filled with hesitation. With Chu He opening the passage, it saved him a lot of trouble and he did not need to worry about the female demons failing to set up the formation. This entrance could still be opened for a few days. After Li Ban and the others left, Ning Fan could follow them and sneak into the second world. However, with the involvement of 10 demon generals and 4 of them being stronger than him, the danger of the second world had undoubtedly increased. To enter or not to enter, while he was hesitating, the 2 women in his arms were feeling bitter. Li Ban's merciless act of killing his companion made the last bit of guilt they felt for betraying him dissipate. Li Ban is not as good as my master. Their expressions gradually became resolute. Ning Fan had more than 1,000 human cauldrons. However, these women were living peacefully in the cauldron ring. Even if Ning Fan encountered danger, he would never let these women help him, not to mention Li Ban and the others who used their subordinates' lives to pave the way for their future. Ning Fan might be cruel to his enemies but he treated his own people very well. At least as long as they became Ning Fan's human cauldrons, the Wind Lady and the Tea Lady would not have to worry about Ning Fan torturing and killing them for fun one day. What's wrong? Why do you look so serious? Are you having mixed feelings after meeting your former master? Ning Fan teased. We only have one master. The 2 women said firmly. Oh. Ning Fan smiled faintly. The 2 women seemed to have become more loyal to him after seeing Li Ban's true colors. It would be best if that was the case. The 2 of you enter the cauldron ring first. The second world is very dangerous. You don't need to get involved, thank you for your kindness, master. The 2 women bowed. With their gold core realm cultivation base, they would not be able to protect themselves in the second world. It would be safer for them to enter the cauldron ring. Ning Fan kept the 2 women and slowly descended to the ground alone. His eyes were filled with seriousness. In the past few days, he had been waiting for the demon generals to leave. However, a huge change happened in the secret realm of the broken world. The teleportation of the 10 spirit-severing realm experts caused the originally unstable secret realm to collapse. Of course, it was only the first world that collapsed. From the west to the east, the void was shattered. Countless old monsters activated the separation formation plate and left the secret realm in a panic. There were also a few old monsters who perished in the void forever. Outside the secret realm, Su Russian's expression changed drastically. The secret realm is collapsing. As for Su Qiuling, her face was pale and her eyes were filled with anxiety. On the slaughter tablet, the names of the old monsters turned from black to gray. Dead, young Master Zhou. What happened to you? Chapter 241. 1 month. In just 1 month, Zhou Ming's name seemed to have become a legend. On the slaughter tablet, Zhou Ming's name, which was ranked first, was now as red as blood. Red name. Of course, he had killed more than 100 beasts. However, Ning Fan's red name was much redder than Zhu Yan, who was ranked first in the past. Su Russian naturally felt relieved. With such a red name, Ning Fan had probably killed more than 150 wild beasts or even more than 200 wild beasts. After all, Zhu Yan had killed 274 false wild beasts in the past. Ning Fan's name was even redder than Zhu Yan's. Demon Core. That's enough. Hee hee. Venerated Giant will definitely not make things difficult for me now. Besides, I have also helped Venerated Giant find the person he has been waiting for. My contribution is not small. At the same time, Su Rushan was also shocked. In just 1 month, he had killed more than 274 wild beasts. With Ning Fan's combat strength, which was comparable to a divine transformation realm expert, he probably used all of his means to kill non-stop. This seriousness was naturally because Ning Fan kept his promise to Su Rushan. He would definitely fulfill his promise. He drew his sword without saying a word and killed people with a promise of a meal. Su Rushan was not the only one who was shocked. The old monsters who were paying attention to the secret realm of the broken world were also shocked. In just 1 month, his name became red. Cultivators who were below mid-nascent soul realm could not even open their eyes when their eyes fell on Ning Fan's name. This person was arrogant, but he had the ability to be arrogant. In that case, it was not arrogance but confidence. The shock lasted for an entire month. When the news of Zhou Minghong's name spread, countless old monsters of the Outer Endless Sea and the Inner Endless Sea swarmed to the Outer Endless Sea to have a look at the person who defeated Soul Formation Realm cultivators and became the number 1. However, this shock was replaced by another shock at the end of the month. The secret realm of the broken world had collapsed. Moreover, it was not just a small area but a complete collapse. Impossible. Even a true divine transformation realm expert could only destroy a region if he entered alone but not the entire realm. Such a large-scale collapse would only happen if a large number of divine transformation realm experts entered. But how is this possible? We were guarding outside the secret realm and none of the divine transformation realm cultivators entered it. Su Rushan's expression changed drastically. The collapse of the secret realm of the broken world was completely out of his expectation. The collapse of the secret realm was not a small mistake. As the master of the secret realm, he would most likely be blamed by the giant demon clan. But that was not all. Now that the secret realm has collapsed, I wonder if Ning Fan can safely leave the secret realm and bring the demon core out. Su Rushan was indeed concerned about the monster cores. It had only been a month, and the other great cultivators were practically out of the question. For 39 people to be able to gather 20 monster cores was already a rare occurrence. If it weren't for the 200 beast cores, the venerable giant's daughter would be critically ill, and he, Su Rushan, would have to bear the responsibility. Compared to the demon core, Su Rushan was more concerned about Ning Fan's safety. Ever since they first met, Ning Fans had shocked Su Rushan time and time again. From flattering him to treating him as an equal, to respecting him, to looking up to him now. This person's personality was similar to Su Rushan's. What was more precious was that this person seemed to have feelings for his daughter. How can my son-in-law die in the broken world mystic domain? But why hasn't this kid come out yet? Why is he still in the mystic realm? The secret realm of the broken world collapsed and the 10 semi-god realm cultivators entered. From west to east, in less than 2 hours, millions of miles of land had collapsed. The grand cultivators and old monsters managed to escape the secret realm with the help of the separation array disc. However, they were all drenched in cold sweat and their hearts were pounding. With every breath, thousands of miles of land would collapse. The collapsed void made the old monsters who had yet to attain the divine transformation realm feel their scalp go numb. The void. Even ordinary divine transformation realm cultivators would definitely die if they were sucked into the void without any powerful means. 10 great demon generals and hundreds of nascent soul realm cultivators were sucked into the void at the same time. If it wasn't because there were 4 great experts among the 10 Divine Transformation Realm cultivators and the 10 of them worked together, Li Ban, who was an early Divine Transformation Realm cultivator, would probably be buried in the void. Even Divine Transformation Realm cultivators were in danger. It was normal for Grand cultivators to die in the void. Other than Ning Fan and Chu He, only 25 of the remaining 38 old monsters survived. The names of 13 of them turned gray and were buried in the void. One day later, the secret realm of the broken world completely collapsed. Ning Fan and Chu He had yet to leave the secret realm. Su Qiuling's heart was filled with anxiety. Even if she had blind faith in Ning Fan, she was still worried when Ning Fan did not show up. Young Master Zhou, for no reason, she felt like crying. When she saw Chu He's name turned gray, her mind went blank. I'm afraid Ning Fan is the only one left in the secret realm. The secret realm of the broken world had completely collapsed. All that was left was the void. Ning Fan was not dead, but he had yet to leave the secret realm. He was probably struggling in the void. Young Master Zhou, what happened to you? I'm afraid he's in danger. Even a mid-divine transformation realm cultivator wouldn't be able to withstand the power of the void without any powerful treasures. Perhaps, he's hiding inside a world treasure. Dong Su sighed. Only void refinement realm cultivators could travel through the void. Even divine transformation realm cultivators were not strong enough to do so, let alone Ning Fan, who was only at the late nascent soul realm. No. He'll be fine. Su Qiuling gritted her teeth and raised her head stubbornly. Just as she was feeling anxious and restless, the 7-colored door of light flashed. A storage pouch and a jade slip floated out of the secret realm. The moment the jade slip left the secret realm, it crumbled and turned into a chuckle. Fellow Taoist Su, I'm sorry. The secret realm has collapsed. However, the 200 demon cores are still here. You don't have to worry too much. I might come out a little later. However, I don't need to limit myself to the promise of 5 months anymore. Thus, you don't have to wait for me here. I'll pay you a visit after I leave the secret realm. With Miss Su's personality, you must be worried about me right now. However, don't worry. My name will only become redder and redder. It will never turn gray. So, you don't have to worry. Su Rushan held the storage pouch and stared at the 200 demon cores that had yet to dry up. His mind was filled with shock. The secret realm had completely collapsed, but Ning Fan was still able to teleport out of the jade slip safely. Could it be that he can stand in the void and not die? The same thought and shock rose in the hearts of the old monsters. However, none of them said it out loud. What kind of person could stand in the void and not die? Void refinement realm old monsters could travel through the void. However, it was still difficult for them to do so. Only void fragmentation realm old monsters could survive in the void. Only void fragmentation realm old monsters could break the void and seek for the true immortal realm. How did he do it? Judging from his tone, he didn't hide in a treasure. If he isn't cultivating in the void, he must have gone to the empty area outside the secret realm. No matter which one it is, it's unbelievable because I can't do either of them. Dong Su's eyes were filled with life. He sat cross-legged on the ground without any intention of leaving. Ling Er, you probably won't leave until your brother Zhou comes out, right? I want to wait for young Master Zhou. No matter how long it takes. If he says he's fine, he'll definitely be fine. All right. I'll wait with you. The secret realm had collapsed. Within a day, the mountains and rivers within 70 million li collapsed. Countless false wild beasts were buried in the void. Chu He took a step forward and passed through the realm passage. He entered the second world. That was why he didn't die. He would wait for the guide of the second world to return after receiving the demon generals. At that time, he would need to hand over the task to that person. Looking at the void on the other side of the realm passage, Chu-hee felt his scalp go numb. However, his heart was filled with a twisted sense of satisfaction. I wonder if that Zhou Ming died in the void. Hee hee. It's good if he's dead. It's good if he's dead. Unfortunately, Chu-hee's wish couldn't come true. Ning Fan stood in the void with a small golden bell in his hand. A faint golden halo rose from the golden bell and enveloped him. The Eastern Ocean Bell. With this bell, I won't be afraid of the power of the void. I won't have any problems even if I travel through the void. The collapse of the secret realm seems to be a good thing for me. At least, I don't need to spend so much effort to travel across 70 million li of mountains and rivers to kill all the false wild beasts. Their demon cores and demon blood will come to me on their own. The wind from the void blew over like a black sharp blade. Once it hits the target, even a Jade Life Realm cultivator would die a violent death. However, when this black wind touched the golden light of the Eastern Ocean Bell, it trembled slightly and immediately parted. The broken corpses of the false wild beasts were blown over by the black wind. There were also a lot of black blood and demon cores that floated in the void. The collapse came from the west to the east. Naturally, the wind was blowing towards Ning Fan. When Ning Fan rang the Eastern Ocean Bell in the void, a black void vortex immediately rose and sucked in countless demon cores, demon blood and even the storage pouches of peak nascent soul realm cultivators. Drops of demon blood were kept by Ning Fan. Traces of faint golden blood were extracted by him. Adding the 300+ wild beasts that he had killed previously, he had a total of 1284 false wild demon cores, 1284 drops of false wild demon blood and 1284 faint golden blood traces. There were a total of 13 drops of demon marshal's blood essence in his storage pouch. After refining all of the demon blood, it would be 5,000 units of demon power. He had almost completed half of the journey to the divine transformation realm with demon veins. The passage to the second world has been opened. After entering this world, I'll first find a place and refine the demon blood to attain 5,000 units of demon power. After that, I'll think of a way to kill the demon marshal and seize his blood. Attaining the divine transformation realm won't be difficult. His eyes flashed. Step by step, he stepped on the void and arrived at the seven-colored realm path of the second world. He took a step and entered. On the other side of the realm path, the nascent soul realm cultivator of the demon race named Liu Bei was whispering to Chu-hee. Most of their conversation was about how to build a good relationship with the demon sealing palace in the endless sea of the rain world with the help of the great operation in the demon world this time, Aya. How did fellow Taoist Chu end up like this? I feel sad for you. Liu Bei said with a pretentious expression. Don't mention it. It's all Zhou Ming's fault. However, that bastard has most likely been buried in the void and died without a complete corpse. Only then can the hatred in my heart be appeased. It's good that he died. It's good that he died. Liu Bei did not care who Zhou Ming was at all and whether he was dead or alive. However, while the two of them were talking, a faint red ferocious qi suddenly engulfed the two of them. Under the ferocious qi, be it Liu Bei who was an early nascent soul realm cultivator or Chu-hee who was a broken nascent soul realm cultivator, both of them sucked in a cold breath at the same time. Especially Chu-hee. When he saw a young man in white robes and a black cloak calmly stepping on the pitch-black void and entering the realm path, his heart suddenly trembled. Impossible. Impossible. You're not a void refinement realm expert nor a void fragmentation realm expert. How can you travel in the void? Impossible. Just now, the two of you said that I died a good death. Ning Fan's eyes flashed with cold light. Both of his hands reached out and grabbed Chu-hee's remnant shadow and Liu Bei's head respectively. The power of this grab was the power of his jade life. The two of them could not break free at all. Soul search. When Ning Fan's indifferent voice resounded in their ears, their sea of consciousness immediately collapsed and they became idiots. Chu He's memories were the same as Ying He's. Zigu had planted a purple seal on him. However, with Ning Fan's current strength, he could easily break the seal. Naturally, he had seen through all the secrets of the Demon Sealing Palace. Now, he was even more clear about the mission of the Demon Sealing Palace to cooperate with the demon generals of the demon world. This place of slumber and the slumbering demon commander is called Lu Wu. Ning Fan swallowed Chu He's remnant nascent soul and chewed it. Then, he smashed Liu Bei's physical body with his palm and swallowed his nascent soul. This demon's name is Liu Bei. He's a winged demon of the Luoyun tribe, the 7th tribe of the Lu clan. This person is cruel and despicable. He has many enemies in the Luoyun tribe, but he doesn't have any friends. Moreover, his life soul token was expelled from the tribe because he violated the tribe's rules. Interesting. In this case, no one will know if I kill this person. If I disguise myself as this person and sneak into the Luoyun tribe, no one will know. A winged demon. An early nascent soul realm cultivator. It's almost the same as my current demon power cultivation base. Ning Fan swallowed Liu Bei's nascent soul and took a step forward. As he took a step forward, he displayed the spirit concealing art. His appearance immediately changed and he became exactly the same as Liu Bei. From now on, my identity in the second world is Liu Bei of the Luoyun tribe. Now that the secret realm has collapsed, I have enough demon cores to enter the second world. I don't need to leave the secret realm within 5 months. I can send the demon cores to Su Rushan in advance to make him feel at ease. In this way, it won't be a problem even if I have to stay in the secret realm for tens of years. As for Su Qiuling. I'll leave a jade slip on her so that she won't be worried. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.